We are live. So what is up, guys? Today we are back with late night shots, and we had just hit episode 10, double digits, baby. Let's go. Today we got something a little bit more special planned. So as we know, in 2020, the NCAA tournament was canceled. So today, I see people going through brackets and all, but we got a heavyweight audience, so we think we might as well dive completely into depth in the heavyweight bracket. We're going to be doing it live in front of you guys, what we think will happen. Obviously, we got the front runners in this bracket with Gable Stevenson, Mason Paris, Tony Cassiope. Yeah, pretty much just them three. Those are pretty much solidified as the top three. But we also have 5 more All-American spots, so we're going to be seeing who could possibly take those, who makes it further. Maybe there's some unexpected upsets in the middle you just see based on technique styles or something like that. So stay tuned and watch. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it for now. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, do it now.
Yeah, might as well, man. Yeah.
There's nothing really to say about that, you know. Yeah.
We've also named popcorn as the snack of the Heavyweight Nations YouTube channel. So I mean, right now, pause the video, go grab your popcorn, and come back and enjoy what we're about to produce to you. Because I know I'm excited for this moment right
now. All right, we ready?
Let's get it, bro.
So, of course, I printed out my own bracket, so we're going to finish that on mine. So Thursday morning, of course, each bracket consists of 33 people in the NCAAs. There's always one pigtail bout, and that pigtail here is between Max Irie of NIU and Tyler Bagoli of Clarion. I mean, these aren't guys I've really seen that much wrestle. Bagoli has a record of 16-6. Well, Max Irie has a record of 20-10. So Bagoli should technically have the advantage. But I've seen Max Irie wrestle a couple times. Looks pretty offensive. This is a thing, like, it could really go either way. It's obviously either going to be a dogfight. So I'm going to have 33 seed Max Irie coming on top. I say he wins via 5-2 decision. And I'm going to move him into the round of 32 match against number 1 seed Gable Stevenson.
I'm going to agree with you on that. I feel like his quick offense is going to come into effect a lot.
I got to agree with you. That's the main thing I forgot about.
I think his quick offense is definitely going to come into effect. Yeah. And I think we see an upset.
They're both about average build guys. Yeah. There's nothing like they each do. They all do the basics very well, solid in all positions. It's honestly just going to come down to maybe even the coin toss at that point.
Yeah, whoever gets the pick first, yeah. All right.
So we're going to move Tyler Bagoli from Clarion into the first the pigtail wrestleback, actually.
All right. Do we want, now that we're solidified our
we'll just start the round of 32. Again,
I was going to say,
Max Irie versus Gable Stevenson.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to just run through the seeding wise, like just go through everybody just for one?
Yeah, why not? We just covered the pick though, so let's go with that. Main seeding wise, of course, Gable Stevenson pulled the 1 seed after being the 2 seed at Big Ten because he didn't wrestle Mason Paris. He beat Paris 8-6 in the Big Ten finals. Mason Paris and Gable Stevenson that season have basically solidified themselves the top 2 spots, so there's nothing really that can be argued with. Paris claimed the 2 seed. Cassiope was third at the Big Ten. His only losses have come to Mason Paris and Gable Stevenson, so it looked like they both handled Cassiope very well. I think Cassiope versus Paris is going to be a little bit closer this time if they get that far. So, yeah. I mean, a little bit of surprise here for me was Tanner Hall from Arizona State getting the 4 seed over Matt Stencil, who's the 5 seed, and over Trent Hoger. The way I would see this bracket a little bit better is putting the 4 seed right now, Tanner Hall, at the 6 seed, and moving Matt Stencil from Central Michigan up to the 4 seed and Trent Hoger up to the 5 seed.
Yeah, I don't see Hilger being a 5-6 seed.
Yeah, I mean it's just one spot, but I think think Hall was like a little bit overrated, you know. Just in that aspect, like Hall's still way up there. I just think he gets moved down from a 4 to a 6, really.
Well, we're going with the bracket. We're going to go with the...
Yeah, of course we're going to go with the bracket. A big thing, we have Demetrius Thomas, which I think is a big sleeper pick here. He's 21-3 he was 21-3 from Pitt. He was basically the lone senior in this weight class. It's tough to see it happen that way. I think he would have gotten on the podium.
I agree,
Pretty
yeah.
much speaker and that way. He's a JUCO product also. Everything was set out for it to turn out like that, and it just sucks to get taken away from you.
So he draws the 7th seed?
Yeah, he had the 7th seed. I think he deserves the 7th seed. The 8th seed in this bracket is Tate Orndorff. The 9th seed is Jordan Wood. I remember Tate Orndorff had a big win over Jordan Wood. Wood looked like he kind of fell off a little bit this year. Hopefully he makes a comeback next year. I really don't know because the weight class is just growing further and further.
Yeah, we talked about this in our video yesterday.
Yeah, of course. At the 11th seed, we have Gannon Gremmel from Iowa State.
Wait, who's the 10th seed?
Oh, 10th seed, my bad. He was a true freshman from Harvard, Yaroslav Slavikuski. As far as I know, he placed 4th in Midlands. First place finisher was Tony Cassiope from Iowa. Second was Matt Stencil from Central Michigan. And third was Trent Hilger. He only lost to Hilger a 3-1 decision. So this guy's definitely got to be watching in years to come, honestly.
Yeah, I think we could definitely see him moving up that rank a lot this upcoming season.
He's one of those guys. He's not that big, but he's very strong. He's very offensive. He's very hard to score on. Technique-wise, he's a little bit iffy, but toughness-wise, he's way up there.
Yeah, he's not a guy that you're going to see giving up a ton of points.
100%. At the 12 seed, we have a 197-pounder from Fresno State who bumped up, Josh Hokett. He was just drafted by the 49ers at running back, so congratulations to him.
Congratulations for that, yeah.
I think he's a guy that could really go either way in this weight class. But I'm really going to save lemon picks for when we actually talk about it. 13 seed is Brian Andrews from Wyoming, a big underrated guy. He's been pretty solid. He's pretty solid in all positions. A little bit of a bigger guy. I think he does all right if the bracket were to actually play out. 14, Carter Isley from UNI, pretty underrated. The only real matches I saw of him were him against really good guys, so it's pretty iffy to see.
Yeah.
He looked pretty solid. The only guy – I know Mason Paris pinned him in about 40 seconds with his dump, but he catches a lot of guys with that. I doubt that happens again if they wrestle. I say Paris probably gets a major, but nothing really more than that.
No.
15 seed is Jero Hino from Campbell. This guy had a very good season this year, a very undersized heavyweight, very good with his offensive attacks. As we know, Campbell came onto the wrestling scene a lot this year with Kerry Collette as their new coach. So I think he's I'm not sure what grade he's in, but if he comes back, I think he's a big guy to watch in this weight class.
Yeah, I don't think
he wasn't listed in the rankings at all, so I'm pretty sure he was a senior. But I think he would have been a big sleeper to make the All-American on this list. 16, Dalton Robertson from University of Colorado. I think he might be a little bit overseed in my opinion. Not the greatest guy. Yeah, there's nothing really much to say about him. He's solid. Again, all these guys are decent. All these guys are actually good. They made a national tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
don't think he's a guy that is going to make it that far. Kerry Miller from Appalachian State, pretty good guy. He's coming back, I'm pretty sure. He's got to watch out for again. Actually, no, he's not coming back. Dude, I'm tripping on all this. 18 seed would be John Borsch from Virginia Tech. Again, pretty solid. I think he probably pulls around a 16 seed if you see it in my way.
Yeah.
They have different criteria for seeding every bracket. Some that people don't know about. People just argue about seeding, which is pretty pointless. Gary Traub is a 19 seed. I think he may be a little bit underseeded, but with the way he performed, I don't think he really deserves a higher seed. I think he's going to place higher than that, though.
I agree that he's definitely going to place up there.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think that seeding is definitely fair for his performance this
season. 100%.
Kind of an underwhelming performance, honestly. I expected a little bit more from him.
Who did he lose to, dude? You mean you expected more from him?
I don't know. I feel like there were some close matches where he definitely could have pulled it out.
Against who?
Well, let me look. I'm trying to look at his record quick.
Bro, you're tripping right now. His losses are like Trent Hilgard, Tony Castioppi, Gable Steveson. I know he lost to David Jensen, but David Jensen's also
Yeah,
David
again.
Jensen is good, dude.
Where's he
David
seated?
Jensen beat Sam Soul. Yeah, I don't agree with David Jensen's seed either. It's 21.
Exactly.
I don't want to talk about that yet.
Okay, so 20.
Yeah. I think we'll cut this off here because I really only want to get to Gary Shaw because he's pretty much the last relevant guy in this weight class.
You forgot about David Jensen at C21.
I said I didn't want to talk about that yet. There's a reason.
Trying to fill up my bracket.
You can just look up the bracket on your phone.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. You're right.
Yeah.
So what do I just look up the 2020 NCAA heavyweight bracket?
I think it's like on NCAA.com or something like that. I should have told you we were doing this earlier. Man, you could have printed something out. So again on Thursday morning, the round of 32 will go down. In the pigtail wrestlebacks and the first round wrestlebacks will go down. So in our first match of the actual bracket, we'll go down as Gable Steveson, Minnesota, who's 15-0 heading into this tournament, versus Max Irie of NIU. The main thing I see here is they're both about the same build. The only thing that really is different is he's Gable Steveson. He's going to put up points. He's going to put them up often. And I'm going to go with the fact that he's going to pin Max Irie. And I'm going to go with the second period pin for him.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Gable is going to get the pin here. I think you definitely see Gable pinning him. I think that's really all you have to say here.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think Gable definitely pins here. Yo, I'm going to dip for a second and try to find different pencils. Just keep them occupied.
Yeah.
Because this one's broke on me.
All right, guys. Hi, it's your favorite co-host, Derek here. Welcome back to Heavyweight Nation. It's late night shots. You know, right now it's 12:39 a.m. You know, we're out here grinding every night making these videos for you guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Just
grind.
tell your friends or something, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going to stop making these videos no matter how many views we get.
Tomorrow, make sure you guys, whoever's watching this, 'cause I know we get like 3-4 views right now. Somebody who's watching this right now, tell your friend, tell your family, tell your grandma. Tomorrow, we have an exciting video for you guys. I'm not going to tell you what the video is. You'll see when it comes out.
We have somebody special joining us.
Somebody special. Somebody special in the wrestling community.
I wonder what team preview we're doing.
We're not doing a team preview. We're going to do just like a good old-fashioned, like the first couple videos you might have seen the one about me. We're just going to have him on here. We'll definitely talk about Wisconsin wrestling. Definitely. That's another hit, Wisconsin wrestling. He's just going to tell us, about his story. We're going to ask him some
another
questions.
stud in the wrestling community.
Stud.
He's part of a particular group.
Yeah.
If you think you know who he is, comment that below. And I'll give you a shout out on Instagram,
Yeah. Free shout out on Instagram.
If you do it before the video tomorrow comes out.
Back.
Oh, yeah. So now let's jump right back into it. So Max Irie loses by –
I got my bracket up. We're ready.
Dope. Max Irie loses by second period pin to Gable Steveson. Loser of 155 will go. He's the top seed in the first round wrestleback. He's the lowest seed in the first round. Hold up.
I'm going to run to the bathroom quick. Entertain everyone.
Bro. All right, yeah. So basically, there aren't many big things going on. Run through this bracket because I know a lot of people have different views on it, where they think people are going to place. As far as I know, basically the first three spots are solidified, as we talked about before. Gable basically handled Paris in that match. I think he played it a little closer than it should have been, but Gable looked pretty comfortable during the match the way he played it. I don't think that match turns out – I don't think there's a chance really that match turns out any different, as people know. And then Paris and Cassioppi, I think it could go either way. People say it's really lopsided based on like what happened last time. Of course, Paris pinning Castillo, opening that jerk. But I've stated my views on this many times, and people really want to think different things. But I really think that match could go either way because a lot of those things are one-time occurrences. My boy's back.
I heard one-time occurrence. Are we talking about Tony Cassiopeia and Mason Paris?
Yes, we are.
All right, I knew it because I agree with you 100% that Mason Paris does not beat Tony Cassiopeia.
Every heavyweight I've talked to has agreed with me about this.
100%. I think
every wrestling fan that's not a heavyweight has been against me on this. So it's like a heavyweight thing. You see what happens. Like
nobody even likes
it. Doesn't logically make sense to me.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
So Max Irie advances to the first round wrestleback.
I turned my bracket off. Right.
In the round of 32, we're gonna have Kerry Miller from Appalachian State with a 32-5 record versus number 16 seed Dalton Robertson from University of Colorado with the 17-8 record. So you can talk a little bit if you want to.
All right. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, you can give your insight first on every pick.
All right. So here right now, just looking based off record-wise, most people would pick Kerry Miller from Appalachian State. They're only one spot apart. I mean, the guy that has less wins actually drew the higher seeding. So, that's just how it happens sometimes with the seeding of the bracket. But I'm gonna have a sort of an upset here because I'm gonna have Dalton Robertson from University of Colorado, right? University of Colorado. I'm gonna have him beating him with a 5-2 decision.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to give my view on this match. I think Kerry Miller is an extremely underrated guy. I think he could have pulled as high as, like, a seed as Gannon Gremo, actually. So I had Kerry Miller winning by major decision over Dalton Robertson. So we could talk about this for a little bit,
All right. I mean, okay.
Because, like, I've looked in depth to, like, all these guys. Like, I know who everybody is at this point.
Yeah. I've not looked as in-depth as you. I'm just going based off of, like, things I've heard. So some matches I've seen with these guys, like, just try to, restart the memory of, like, everything here. Okay.
So we can just go with the major decision? Or do you want
I'm going to agree with you with the fact that Miller beats him, but I don't think it's by a major. I'm going to put it a decision.
7-3?
7-3 decision.
Okay, we can go with that. Again, that's a solid win by Kerry Miller.
All right, here we go again with another.
And then Dalton Robertson will advance to the first round wrestleback. Where he will wrestle Max Irie from NIU.
Okay.
We'll go on to our next match. We have Jordan Wood from Lehigh with a 17-5 record. His losses have been to Anthony Cassar, Demetrius Thomas, Tate Orndorff. I think
no, it wouldn't have been Cassar.
He lost to Anthony Cassar.
He didn't wrestle this season.
Yeah, he did. He wrestled beginning. He lost very early in the season.
Did he?
Yeah, it was only by decision.
Oh, okay.
Demetrius Thomas, Tate Orndorff. I know him versus Demetrius Thomas was a very high-scoring match. It was 16-10.
All right, I remember seeing that.
And then I think he lost to maybe I don't know. He has 2 more losses, but he pulled the 9 seed. I think that seed is basically where he should have fell.
And I think Ben Sullivan from Army, 16-8 record, not horrible. Mm-hmm. He's not. I believe he's another person that should have been seeded a little bit higher than 24.
Yeah, of course, but again, you've taken prior qualifications and all that.
Definitely.
It definitely wins from different conferences are worth more seeding points and all that.
Now, me being someone who's seen Jordan Wood wrestle live in person multiple times,
he's not a guy that's overly good at anything. He's just very solid, very tough wrestler.
Yeah, very solid, very tough. Ben Sullivan, I haven't seen much about. I know he had a solid season. 16-8. That's a decent season.
You also have to consider the schedules these guys are wrestling on.
Yeah, Army does actually not have the easiest schedule out there. I mean,
they don't. They had Penn State also.
Yeah.
But I know that Ben Sullivan's a decently solid dude. I think that Jordan Wood might just be a little too
I think it's gonna be
for him
I think this is gonna be a
at
close
this point
match.
in the game.
I don't think that this is gonna be a match that's blown out. I don't think so. I don't see.
You know, my two views on this. I say that Jordan Wood wins at least. I think Jordan Wood probably going to play safe. I think he wins a 6-0 match. Takedown, ride out, gets out, takedown, ride out, and just shuts him down. I don't think Jordan Wood's going to go for any turns or anything. I don't think he's going to take him down, let him up. I think Jordan Wood's better than him in every single position, but not to the point where he pins him.
No, he's not going to get pinned, and I don't think it'll be a tech.
Well, actually, you know what? I'll give him a major decision because I think he can squeak that out.
Yeah, I'm going to say major.
9-1 major decision.
I'm going to say 9-3.
You said major.
No.
You don't think he majors him?
I think a 9-3 decision.
Do you really?
Yeah. I think he takes him down. I think he takes him down.
9-3 would just be escapes though.
One escape. Oh yeah, it would technically.
You know, yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah, might as well. I feel like Jordan
Wood advances to the round of 16.
Yeah, Jordan Wood. The final discussion is Jordan Wood does advance. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he advances, but I really think he can squeak out his bonus points against a guy like Ben Sullivan.
Yeah.
But, you know, I could definitely see Sullivan putting up a good fight there again. These Army guys, Navy guys are all tough.
They're tough. They train definitely harder than I feel like most of these colleges.
Yeah, again, I mean, John Birchmeyer got pinned by Anthony Cassar, but yeah.
All right.
That's a true freshman. He put up a very good fight against Anthony Cassar. So Ben Sullivan from Army will advance to the first round wrestleback. Okay. So this one's a 25 seed John Spalding from Edinburgh, 26-9 record, versus Tate Orndorff from Utah Valley, 18-4. Those losses, as far as I know, one is to Trent Hilger.
Yeah.
One is to Demetrius Thomas. Yeah, no, you see behind Demetrius Thomas. I'm right there.
Yeah, right behind him.
I'm pretty sure Gable bodied him somewhere.
Yeah, Gable definitely.
And then another match, which I'm pretty sure might have been to Matt Stencil.
Yeah.
John Spalding is a guy you cannot count out, though. The only guy I've really seen, only good kid guys really wrestled this season, as far as I know, is going to be Matt Stencil, who beat him 11-0 in the MAC finals. Matt Stencil is a very tough guy, though. He's just like right outside that top 3.
Yeah.
You can give me your thoughts on this match.
All right. Okay, so Tate Orndorff, solid wrestler all around. He's one of those guys that
conditioning
again,
not the greatest, though.
No, conditioning is not the greatest. He does slow. The pace does change from the beginning of the match to the end, which I think that is something like important. Especially in this tournament, you know, you're wrestling top tier guys. You're not wrestling some guy from some, you know, no name Division I college at a duel. You know, this is the national tournament.
I mean, there are no name guys that make it through, but they're like the one star at their school.
Yeah.
You see guys from like American, Air Force.
Yeah. Then you got John Spalding from Edinburgh. Wrestled a lot of matches this season.
Mm-hmm.
He wrestled a ton. You see these like higher seeded guys having a ton of matches, which is a little bit weird for me, because you know you see like these kids, you know these
higher seeded guys make it further in tournaments.
Yeah,
that's the main thing, and they also go to bigger schools normally.
Or sometimes they don't wrestle. You know, Steveson only has a 15-0 record.
Steveson was also the incident at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
and he was overseas for a tournament, so he didn't get to wrestle Mason Paris.
True. Which everyone did call him out for that.
I'm just checking my TikTok right now.
Hold on. Yeah, everyone go follow the Heavyweight Hype House on TikTok to see your main man over there throwing some people. He does toss a couple of 2-3 big boys. So
333 followers, 3,010 likes.
Yeah, man. TikTok's blowing up.
It's been doing very good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll get back to the video though.
I
So, your
have
final score prediction for this match?
Tate Orndorff decision, John Spalding of Edinburgh, 5-2.
I have it 3-2. I think it comes down to the wire. John Spalding is a dude he was always a very good wrestler, of course. He was ranked very highly. His body has changed. His body he's more one of those fat round dudes coming into college. He's gotten a lot leaner throughout. I think it's 3-2 and it comes down to the wire, honestly. So I think what's it called? Tate Orndorff probably gets a takedown in the first period. And pretty much dominates the first period, gets the riding time. I think time coming the third period, he picks bottom. He gets rodden out a little bit, loses that riding time again, and it comes down to the wire in that match. Something's wrong with the connection. I will text him really quick and see what's going on. All right, he's just texting me. He will be coming back in soon. Yeah, so I'll just talk to you guys a little bit more what I was talking about you before. Of course, we got Gable Stevenson and we got Mason Paris. Same have solidified themselves as the top two in the weight class. Tony Cassiope pretty much dominated Matt Sullivan at 5-0. But I'm going to give a little bit more views on that match. Of course, Tony Cassiope has a very good snatch single and all that. And Matt Stencil is more of a wrestler who likes to ride on top and a lot. But I think that match can really come down to the wire depending on who gets the choice and who's able to pull the first takedown and get on the first leg attack. You good?
Yeah, we just had some technical difficulties.
Okay.
We're back. So what do we decide for the John Spalding Tate Orndorff?
I have Tate Orndorff 3-2.
Again, I agree with that. Definitely a close match. Not anything big. No, definitely not anything more than a decision. Okay, so I heard you talk about Matt Stencil.
Yeah, I was just talking a little bit because you kind of lagged out there.
Yeah, how did you have that match going so far?
No, I wasn't talking about the next match. I was talking about potential matches we could have.
I definitely think I see Stencil taking this match. I mean, it's definitely,
Brendan Furman is a guy who's been very solid this season. Dropped a couple of tough losses, though.
Yeah, but
Not
I think
most condition, dude.
No, I think Stencil does pull it out though. Stencil had a great record, 30-4. That's something to definitely be proud of in this.
Just give me your final thing on this match, and I'll tell you what I have.
Final score: Stencil major decision, 11-0.
Why do you think that?
I just think Stencil's so dominant in all positions that Stencil's he's gonna run.
My view on this is Stencil. I've seen his top right. I've seen the way it works. He loves to go to the head pinch cement mixture, just like all the Iowa guys love to do. Same with Tony Cassiope. I think Furman's guy, a little bit on the chubbier side. Not that solid in the top and bottom position. Very aggressive and good on neutral. I think it's a first period pin for Matt Stencil.
That definitely could go that way. Definitely, like you said, he gets out in the front and then he throws that cement mixer, that head pinch, and he's gonna go over. Like you said, he doesn't have a very good bottom game. So, yeah, no matter whichever way it goes.
No, like his bottom game's solid.
Yeah,
but Stencil's the best top rider heavyweight. He's not even
100%. So I agree.
Catches a lot of guys off guard with his leg riding. Tony Cassiope has a very defined technique-wise. Tony Cassiope and Trent Hooker are the most defined top rides. Matt Stencil has more of a Tony Cassiope top ride. But the only difference here I really see is that Matt Stencil's a lot more mature and stronger than Tony Cassiope.
Yeah.
On top, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So we're going to have that as a first period pin for Matt Stencil. And he will advance to the round of 16 on Thursday night.
Definitely.
And Brendan
Thursday's a rough day for some of these guys.
Yeah.
All right.
And Brendan Furman will advance to the first from Cornell. Will advance to the first round. Russell back.
Yipper.
Okay, so you can talk about the next match.
All right. Next match we have number 21 seed David Jensen. Jeez. That's Nebraska, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from Nebraska with a record of 17-6 versus Josh Holkett, right? Yeah. Holkett from Fresno. Is that Fresno State? Yeah. Okay. 23-4 record. Again, Jensen, another guy I see ranked higher than 21.
Okay, so let me walk you through a little bit what happened to Dave Jensen. He didn't wrestle open season because he was injured. He actually ended up getting pinned in the finals of the tournament by a D3 opponent. But you can just tell me what you think happens in the match. I don't think it's going to be a very interesting match. I think there are some key factors that will play into why I think what's going to happen, and you can tell me what you think.
All right, so David Jensen, seeing David Jensen wrestle, he is a bigger guy. He's not he's not built like a Gable or a Derek White where they're short, not that tall and just muscly, and he is a taller, bigger guy. And I don't think Helkett's he's not too big either, like bulk wise, but
Hogan's about 230.
Yeah.
So I've seen. He was a 197 last year.
Yeah. So he is just a bigger 197.
Dual sport.
Well, he plays football, right?
He's in the NFL, dude.
Yeah. We talked about them in the beginning of the video. Yeah. So, I think Helkett's strength here is definitely going to help him out. Which, I mean, Jensen's definitely not, a guy that's not strong. But I feel like Jensen's conditioning is going to get to him just because Helkett is a dual sport athlete, and you're going to see that conditioning come into factor where if it is the third period, Helkett's going to be able to, keep that same pace, keep that same pressure on as he was in the first and second, which I don't think an injured Jensen
wrestled very good at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. He don't not wrestling at the beginning of the season and still pulling a 17-6 record, pulling, almost the top 20 seed. Some could argue him being in the top 20.
Mm-hmm.
I see Jensen taking a heartbreaker with a 1-0, a 2-0 overtime, 2-0 overtime loss.
So, I actually have the first major upset of the tournament happening.
You think Helkett? I'm
going to say it for the same reason. Jensen is in very good shape.
Yeah.
Jensen, from what I've seen, is a lot stronger than Josh Helkett. Jensen is another guy with a very defined top ride. Leg rider also. You saw us against Sam Stoll where he beat him 5-0.
Yeah. No
takedowns were scored that match.
Nope.
I think a little bit sort of that thing happens here where it goes 0-0 out of the first period. Helkett is forced to pick bottom. Jensen rides him out, gets that riding time point, and one stall call. Right? Comes to the third period. Jensen's up 1-0, knowing he could ride Helkett out. Takes top, just like he did against Sam Stoll. Throws legs in again. Gets 2 more stall calls because it's the third period.
Yeah.
The score goes from 1-0 to 2-0 to 3-0. And that's the way I think it plays out. Normally, every time, there's always a major upset in the first round of a tournament.
Definitely.
Last year, it was Sam Stoll, 28 seed, knocking off Mason Paris as the 5 seed, 8-2. The main things you see in this match are physical dominance. Sam Stoll was more physical dominant than Mason Paris. He beat him 8-2 with 1 takedown. Say something. So I'm going to have David Jensen winning 3-0. What do you think?
I could agree with that. I could change my mind on that. I do agree with you that Jensen has that leg ride. And you did see it against Sam Stoll.
Yeah.
Sam
Because I
Stoll's
did one of these before.
Yeah.
And I didn't really look through. Like now, we're going through each match, visualizing what would happen each period.
Yeah.
Based on two contrasting styles. Before, I would literally just throw top 8 seeds into quarterfinals and look.
Yeah.
We're gonna have David Jensen, 3-0.
Yeah. I agree with you. And Sam Stoll is a mountain of a man. He's a big heavyweight. He was
Very good Greco dude. Controlled
Yeah.
base first that 2-1 the entire match.
Yeah. All right. So while we fix up the bracket there, now that
David Jensen will advance to the round of 16, and Josh Hokett will advance to the first round wrestlebacks.
So now we have the 13th seed Brian Andrews from Wyoming coming in with a 30-7 record, who will face Brandon Metz from North Dakota State University with a 22-10 record. So I'm gonna have you talk about this because I've seen the guy from Wyoming wrestle a couple times, and I have no clue about the other guy.
So Brian Andrews from Wyoming has a 30-7 record. Brandon Metz from North Dakota State has a 22-10 record. Neither of them wrestle 2 hard schedules.
Yeah.
I've seen Brandon Metz. He's a solid dude. However, his defense is not too great.
Yeah, I was going to say.
His attacks are pretty good, though. But with Brian Andrews from Wyoming, it's very hard to score on. I think he shuts down the offense of Brandon Metz. And I honestly think it's a very, very nonchalant 5-2 win for him. I don't think anything really interesting is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever going to get threatened. Neither of these guys really know upper body from what I'm concerned. So I think Brian Andrews from Wyoming is going to win 5-2.
I'm going to agree with you on that.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we have the 29th seed, Zachary Knighton-ward from Hofstra. Knighton-ward, from Hofstra with a 23-14 record, who will face the number 4 seed Tanner Hall from Arizona State University with a 23-3 record. I'm going to go off right here and say this is definitely Tanner Hall's match. I think Tanner Hall being ranked the 4th, a lot of people could argue that he could definitely be a little bit of a lower seed, but I mean, that still takes no credit on his wrestling ability, who, I mean, you definitely see the top 4 people here with some of the most dominant heavyweights. I don't see anyone giving Stencil a problem until at least the next round. I mean, Tanner Hall. So I don't see anyone giving Hall a problem.
So I'm going to give my views on this match.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the one match where a guy who shouldn't be tested in the first round gets tested. I say Tanner Hall is good enough, is very solid technique-wise and all that to pull away with this match. But I think this match ends up a lot closer than people are going to think.
Yeah, I mean,
I say Knighton-ward is a very underrated kid from Hofstra. He's the reason 23-14, drops a lot of losses by a point, but very good at keeping matches close. Has those big moves in his back pocket. Yeah, this is an upset bid, but I'm not going to take an upset here.
Yeah.
Actually, Tanner Hall is good enough technique-wise where it's not really going to happen. And then I'm just going to say Tanner Hall is going to win with a 3-1 decision.
Agreed. And I feel like just
a guy who's going to turn people on top or really hold people down.
But I don't think I think we see more of Knighton-ward. I don't think we see him going 2-0. I definitely think
of course not.
He's somebody like I would compare to Jared Verclaren. Jared Verclaren is very good at keeping matches 1-2 point losses to big guys. I mean, you saw him wrestle Sammy Sasso, only lost by a point in overtime.
Yeah,
or 2 points in
overtime. And also loses to a lot of guys in overtime.
Yeah,
it all depends on who Zachary Knighton-ward is going to have in the second round.
Yeah, I definitely agree here that Tanner Hall is going to advance. It's going to be close. But, yeah, I don't think
lost the last match, Brandon Metz. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll have to see Brandon Metz versus Knighton-ward.
And then Zachary Knighton-ward.
Alrighty. As we move down the bracket here.
And then, so Tanner Hall, you have him advancing.
Yeah, he'll face Brian Andrews.
With a 3-1 decision.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and introduce the next
Yeah,
match. We have number 3, the big man on campus, Tony Cassiope from the Iowa Hawkeyes with a 20-3 record. And then he'll face number 30, Andrew. Is that? I can't.
Andrew Gunning.
Gunning, yeah. From University. Is that University of Northern Colorado, right?
Carolina.
Yeah, sorry. University of North Carolina with a 12-14 record. Definitely not the best record you've seen, but I'm sure UNC doesn't have a super easy schedule. And obviously, Cassiope.
He is a lower seed, though. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah,
he had one of the last bids coming out.
I mean, Tony Cassiope from Iowa. I mean, what could you say about it? 3 losses.
Give you my views on this match.
He took a tough loss to Mason Paris, which I don't think will
that match
happen.
had nothing to do with physical ability. It had to do with
not at all. Yeah.
And maybe just a little freshman jitters there, maybe a little bit.
I think Cassiope has no problem with.
It's like what I feel happened with Cassiope is you go against a guy like Gable, you have nothing to absolutely lose. You go up against a guy like Paris, it's a big match, it's a lot of mental, which I don't think he really had that much against a guy as dangerous as Mason Paris, not as good. Wrestled a guy as good as Trent Hoger, but Trent Hoger isn't dangerous in that perspective.
So what history losses were Paris, Gable, and Hilger, correct?
No, he beat Hoger.
Oh, so who did he lose to?
The other twice.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Andrew Gunning had a brother, Jake Gunning, who went to Buffalo. They're a very good wrestling family. They were just like in the lower tier of. Yeah. They were both national qualifiers.
Yeah, it's
because like Sam Stoll got a wild card coming to NCAAs. And Jake Gunning was seated, I think, right above Sam Stoll, like 26 or something like that. Yeah. No, Jake Gunning, I think, was like a 25 seed and had to drop out of the bracket. Yeah, it's pretty tough to see. But
yeah, it is tough to see that people drop out.
I think Tony Cassiope gets very dominant from his feet. And I have Cassiope with I could solidly give Cassiope a second period pin.
Yeah, I definitely see Cassiope pinning. Definitely.
He has a firing top right. Andrew Gunning isn't a guy known to be as physical dom. He's one of those a little bit sloppier, per se, heavyweights, winning a lot of close matches in here. Nothing super crazy happens in this match. I think it's really just a snatch single ride. He wears him down the first period. Second period, whatever happens, whoever picks what, he gets to neutral, takes him down. Or if Gunning picks bottom, I don't know why he would get ridden out, but that's really what happens.
Alrighty, guys. So
Andrew Gunning will advance to the first round wrestleback while Tony Cassiope. No, Andrew Gunning will advance to the pigtail wrestleback.
Yeah. So while he's filling out the paper bracket, I'm just going to introduce the next matchup. Number 19, Gary Traub from Ohio State with a 23-9 record. Versus Carter Isley from University of Northern Illinois, right? Northern Iowa. Okay. With a 20-10 record. Again, this is another close matchup here. I think honestly, seeing Gary Traub wrestle, Ohio State has definitely a hard schedule. They have the Penn State, Iowa. They have all those big teams where they're all competing top 4, top 5 for this national team title, and I think he comes prepared. I think Gary Traub takes this match with an upset victory.
Okay, so I'm going to agree with you, saying that Gary Traub is going to take this match. 9 losses coming to very good opponents.
Yeah.
David Jensen, Tony Cassiope. Yeah, those are really the guys. I think there was one more at Big Ten's. Trent Hoger probably. I think he came too.
I do think he definitely beat Seth Nevels, right?
He beat Seth Nevels by a point in the big Ohio State versus Penn State duels. Seth Nevels, I don't even think made it to nationals.
He didn't.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go on my opinion here. I think the main struggle for Gary Traub has been him getting overpowered in neutral.
Yeah.
Carter Isley is getting one of those 3-1 heavyweights, but his defense is not the greatest. What I'm gonna say is Gary Traub can lay the pace all 7 periods.
Yeah.
I think Traub is gonna do that consistently. Can do it consistently, and when he's gonna get one takedown each period. Time comes the 3rd period, he's gonna put together enough takedowns to get a major decision.
Yep, I'm 100%.
I don't think Gary Traub. I don't think Gary Traub makes that much of an effort to ride.
Yeah, I definitely
Gary Traub winning 13-5.
I could definitely agree with that. I definitely see him like letting people up. Just
his top ride is decent. He almost rode out Cassiope for the entire period. It's like a weird, funky ride. It's like a near side Merkel leg with a far side power half.
Yeah.
So Gary Traub 13-5, major decision.
All right.
And then Carter Isley will advance to the pigtail wrestleback.
Yep. All right. Filling out the paper bracket as always. I'll introduce the next matchup. We have Gannon Gremmel from what is this? This is
Deontay Wilson from NC State.
No, I'm trying to think. What is it? It's not
Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State. Yeah, I keep saying you wanted to say Illinois State. That sounds stupid. Iowa State.
Yeah, Illinois heavyweights aren't. Lucas Luffman might be a guy to watch out for in future years. But Deuce Rashad was not all that.
So we have, like I said, Gannon Gremmel from Iowa State University coming in with a 26-8 record. Pretty impressive. Then what's that? Is that Dante Wilson from NC State with a 19-9 record? And Gannon Gremmel he's a big heavyweight. He is another guy where he's pretty well sized for the heavyweight weight class. I'd see him probably weighing in right around 268, 270, right in that area. I don't see him being a heavyweight who's sucking weight.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about.
No, he's a little bit leaner than that. I give him maybe like the 255, 260 range.
Yeah.
He just isn't as defined as most guys.
No, yeah. Then you have Dante Wilson, who I have not much knowledge about him wrestling.
He's a very tough dude, aggressive, a lean like mesomorph body type, like like a leaner dude, like who bumped to heavyweight. You can talk about this match if you want to first before I go.
Gremmel, he's a great wrestler. Mm-hmm. I think he definitely could do all three positions well. Well enough to be a guy you see in the finals. Definitely not now in the way he is, like his level of wrestling now. But I mean, the way you talk about it, this Wilson is going to be a tough guy to wrestle, and I don't see Gremmel being able to get super deep on that offense. Mm-hmm. And I see this being like another close match like we had earlier on in the tournament, maybe a 1-2 point match.
Okay, yeah, I completely agree with most of the things you're saying. Gremmel's a guy he's big in the sense that he's powerful. Mm-hmm. Not lean, not jacked or anything. It's just pure power coming out there. And they have a guy like Deontay Wilson, who's like a smaller Derek White, a lot more athletic, probably not as strong.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to say is this. If you've ever seen the match between Derek White and Sam Stoll.
Yeah.
The one that Sam Stoll won.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I think it turns out like.
Yeah.
But I think Gemmel's able to get a takedown. I think it comes down to the ride-out periods.
Yeah.
I think it's 2-1 by Gannon Gremmel in the ultimate tiebreaker.
I agree.
Was that 2 overtime? Mm-hmm. 2-1 overtime. Gannon Gremmel. So Deontay Wilson will advance to the first round wrestleback. Yeah.
Alrighty. Next we have Jordan Ernst from University of Ohio. They 23-11 record.
No, it's Miami of Ohio.
Miami of Ohio.
Ohio of Miami. So it's like
Ohio of Miami. It says Ohio, so we're just gonna go with Ohio.
It's like Green, Ohio.
Yeah. We're just gonna go with Ohio. 23-11 record. We'll face off against the 6 seed Chen Hilgert from Wisconsin. Thor, as you and some other people call him.
Because the hair, dude.
Yeah, I see it. 23-6 record. A tough wrestler. I mean, Hilger is definitely he is one of the most in shape heavyweight. He's big. He's lean.
All around the most technical in all positions.
Technique is there. I see Hilger pinning him.
I don't see a pin. I see tech fall. I'm going to say it for the sole reason that Hilger will get one of those. Jordan Ernest isn't exactly one of the most quickest guys. Hilger has a great double, but Jordan Ernest is pretty big. I don't think he's going to use that. He has a great – Hilger, what I've seen against him versus Christian Ribitaro from Michigan State is that he has a great one of those John Smith low singles, sweep singles kind of to the side, and he'll just run the corner, sit there, do whatever. He's very high percentage finisher on the shots. When he throws in those legs, he has like a suck back. I think he's going to take the easy way out and just tech fall first round because Wisconsin really isn't going to talk to a national title this season.
Yeah, no, he's not going for a pin. Yeah,
he's the highest plate. He's the highest seeded guy. I don't know where Tristan Moran was seeded. I think they're both like the highest seeded guys. I don't even think Evan Wick wrestled in this tournament. So yeah, that's basically all it's really going to be. I think it's a 15 or 16-0 tech fall for Hilger, however that plays out. Or even 17-0. I don't know. I'm not counting back points like that. So I'm just going to put tech fall for Hilger.
All right, next matchup we
so
see
Jordan Ernest, first round.
The 7th seed, Demetrius Thomas from Pitt with a 21-3 record versus Thomas is that Panola from Purdue with a 21-14 record. These are definitely two guys that Demetrius Thomas from Pitt is definitely somebody who you got to watch out for in this bracket at least. He definitely had a lot of these bigger guys' numbers this season. The way I see this playing out is I don't see this being a blowout. Honestly, I see that Purdue definitely. I think you can agree with Purdue does have a harder schedule than Pitt. I definitely agree on that. Purdue, you see Purdue wrestle Penn State.
That's big. They're about the same.
Pitt doesn't wrestle Penn State. Purdue wrestles Penn State.
Yeah, but that's Seth Neville's.
Oh yeah, it would. It
wasn't Anthony Cassar.
Yeah, no. I mean, still Purdue. I feel like Purdue definitely does wrestle harder.
Yeah, I can give you my take on this match after you're done.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. I want to see Panola win this match, but I don't think he does. I think Demetrius Thomas does end up winning, but I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I think I give this a 3-1 decision. You probably have him getting pinned. Why don't
I have a tech ball for Demetrius Thomas?
Really?
What I'm gonna say right here, Demetrius Thomas is the raw athlete of the field.
Yeah, 100%.
More athletic than Gable Stevenson. Raw athleticism. I'm not talking about athleticism come out with technique. Technique is a little bit iffy there. Panola's not the biggest of a dude. I think he runs right through him with those doubles, hard sweep singles, duck unders, all that stuff. He just dismantles them, in my opinion. I think Demetrius Thomas can put up about 20 points here.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that. I mean, he definitely had a great season. Wrestled well. Demetrius Thomas moves on.
He fell in the blood round last year. So, yeah. Thomas Panola will advance to the first round respect. You going to introduce the next match?
Yeah. We have Quinn Miller of UVA, 19-7 record versus Yaroslav Slavakuski from Harvard with a 30-8 record.
University of Virginia.
University of Virginia, yeah. And I see Yaroslav absolutely obliterating this kid. I think he just takes it to him. I don't think it's even close.
Okay. I'm getting my pick on this. Quinn is Not really solid, dude. He's might be a little bit below average. Yaroslav is a very tough dude from neutral. I don't see him getting any turns here or getting multiple takedowns prepared. I think he plays it and gets a 6-1 decision.
I agree.
Pretty dominating fashion. But I don't think anything too really crazy here happens here. Because how many kids do Harvard even have at this tournament at this point?
Probably 2 or 3.
Yeah. So I think Yaroslav takes it. And then Quinn Miller goes to Russell Backs. You can announce the next match.
All right, next match. We have. Is
Jer Heino.
that how are we gonna say that name? Is that Jerry? We're gonna go with Jerry.
Jer
Heino from what college is this?
Campbell.
Campbell with the 24-5 record, the 15th seed. Will face John Borscht from Virginia Tech, 21-9 record, drawing the 18th seed. Let's see what you have to say about this. You've been asking me a lot to go first. I want to see what you got to say.
I honestly didn't want to go first because I had the popcorn in my hand while you're talking. I think Jer Heino has had a very good season coming out. Very crisp attacks. Picks and chooses his shot a little bit more for a smaller guy, obviously. Hit a knee, gets up very good. If he gets your leg in the air, he's about 50-50 finisher. If he gets your leg up in the air, 100% finisher right there. Maybe not against like these top guys in the country that can defend from that position. Maybe not against a guy like Hilger who can hit those kickouts or those stuff. But John Borscht has had a very tremendous season this year. And I don't even really know. I'm gonna give a benefit of the doubt to Jer Heino from Campbell, coming out with a 3-1 decision in overtime.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's gonna be a close match. It's definitely gonna be an overtime decision. And I'm gonna have to agree with Jer Heino. All right, that takes us to the final match of Thursday morning's first set of wrestling. And I hate this one. 31 seed Ryan Cloud from Ryder with the 28-12 record will face the number 2 seed Mason Paris from Michigan, 28-1, and I'm going to give a pin here to Mason Paris. I'm going to give Mason Paris a pin here.
Ryan Cloud's bottom game is terrible. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, I think he gets
It might again just against Matt Sensor where I saw him hit that cement mixer, absolutely body him right away. It could go tech fall, but I most likely see Paris locking in the arm bar.
And pinning.
Take him right over.
All right.
Actually, no, I see Paris pinning him with a dump. But still first
period pin. So,
yeah.
Our boy MP Mason Paris, the 2 seed. All right, so that wraps up.
First period pin, Mason Paris. Ryan Cloud. Let's hop into the Wrestlebacks. Wrestleback pigtail, we have 33 seed Tyler Begoli versus 30 seed Andrew Gunning.
Okay. There we go. So Andrew Gunning, Tyler Begoli, Clarion, Begoli's from Clarion. I mean, I don't know how to feel about this one. I want to see Begoli win here. I do.
I think Gunning has to win one match, but I really think it can go either way. So just tell me what you want. I think, like, these are the most crazy matches. You have guys that, like, they're barely 0-2 material, and you have guys who are just happy to make it to nationals.
I think Bergoldi wins here with a overtime takedown.
Okay, so we'll go. Yeah, I can see that.
I like Andrew Gunning.
Yeah, no, I like Andrew Gunning too.
I mean, 12-14 record coming into the season, into the national tournament. A negative record. Just gonna put that out there. I think probably the only negative record in the in the whole bracket here.
Mhm.
I think he was somebody that didn't show up to wrestle and was just, like you said, happy to qualify. He was happy to qualify for the national tournament. I think he showed up, wrestled well the first match, and I think someone got the best of him. I don't think it's going to be a blowout match. I think it's going to be another close match, a heartbreaker for him.
Gunny had Cassiope in the first round.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I think Bagoli might be a little bit more determined losing a pigtail match. So
Yeah.
I already gave Ty Bagoli the win. Let's run into the wrestleback ones. Round of 32.
55 and 56.
Max Irie from NIU versus Dalton Robertson from Northern Colorado.
Yeah, Northern Colorado. All right. I like Max Irie's chances here. I think this is gonna be a good matchup for him. I mean, he wrestled Gable first. That's a tough match for anybody, especially being, winning your pigtail and then having to wrestle Gable,
Yeah.
which,
He's happy just at least win a match in Nationals.
Yeah, he could say he won a match at Nationals.
But I'm going to say Robertson takes it just because 16 versus 32 seed should be a procession match. I think anything can happen, but I think it's pretty casual. 32 match. They both Max Irie goes 2-1, 1-2, casually just chilling for the rest of the day. Solid sophomore season, I think.
Yeah.
And then Dalton Robertson continues his quest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
So that will make the next match up then.
Ben Sullivan from Army versus John Spalding from Edinburgh. This I don't know about, so you can talk first.
All right, John Spalding of Edinburgh, Ben Sullivan of Army. Again, I think here Ben Sullivan will use that Army training, that extra one step ahead, and I think Sullivan's going to get a late round outside single and take it and run it and score a takedown here, and I think that Sullivan takes the win. And I think Spalding goes home from Edinburgh. Which technically, not really. Not
Spalding or Sullivan?
Yeah, I think Sullivan wins.
You have Sullivan winning?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that would have to be my pick. Yeah, I really guess that would have to be my pick also here.
Because I think this is another.
I think Sullivan, it just comes down to who's in better shape, and I think Sullivan's in very good shape.
Yeah, again, that's why I said that Army training puts him one step.
I think Spalding is a better wrestler, though.
Yeah, but I think Spalding.
Yeah, I think Sullivan. I think either Spalding hands it to him, or Sullivan takes it in overtime. Weirdly enough, I think Sullivan taking it in overtime is probably more realistic.
Yeah.
So we're gonna advance Sullivan. Ben Sullivan from Army will advance to the second round wrestlebacks, around to 24.
Yeah.
And John Spalding will sadly go from Edinburgh. Sadly, go 0-2. Andrew Gunning will go 0-2. Max Irie from UNI will go 1-2. Yeah, you can talk to our next match, or do you not have these written down?
No, but I'm pretty good with that. So 59 and 60. So did Stencil lose?
Nope.
No. All right. So Stencil and then Holkett, right? Holkett lost. Yeah, that was an upset. Jensen over. Yeah. All right. So Furman from Cornell versus Josh Holkett. And Again, I want to see Furman continue. Furman from Cornell, I think he's a tough wrestler. I really do. But I just think Holkett has his number here, and I think Holkett is going to take the match. I think it's definitely not going to be a blowout. I definitely think it'll be a decent match, and I think Holkett takes it.
So what I'm going to say here, the main thing is Furman doesn't have the greatest conditioning. Hogan has great conditioning, all-around athlete. This match has honestly come down to athleticism. I don't think Furman's really the strongest guy.
Yeah.
But I think Hogan, very strong, very jittery and athletic. If you ever saw the match against him and Bo Nickel, ended up getting pinned in that match, but there's nothing. Bo Nickel.
It's Bo Nickel.
He tried to throw Bo Nickel, so.
That's what happened.
Again, it's do whatever you want. He was a 16 seed last year, ended up All-American 8th. So he's a returning All-American.
Yeah.
But it's a weight class down, so we'll take that how it is. But I really think Josh Hockett will hand it to Brendan Furman with a 8-0 decision.
Yeah, I agree definitely that.
Okay. So we will have Josh Hockett advancing to the round of 24, and Brendan Furman from Cornell will go 28 seed, will go 0-2.
Okay.
Our next match will be I'll save you time on this. Brandon Metz from North Dakota State and Zachary Knighton-ward from Hofstra. So you can talk to us about that.
Zachary Knighton-ward from Hofstra, 100% is, again, a guy I hated that bracket set. He got Tanner Hall from Arizona State, and I think we did put that as
I don't think Zachary Knighton-ward deserved a higher seed.
No, I don't think
better than he was seeded.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think it was just unfortunate that he was seeded that way. I mean, he did deserve that. I think a guy like Tanner Hall. We did have a close match. Can you tell me what that score was of that last one?
Tanner Hall for Zachary Knighton-ward had 3-1 score. Yep.
Or yeah. So honestly, I think if he only lost by 2 points to a guy like Tanner Hall,
one takedown match.
I think it's 100%.
So what I'm actually going to see happening, you still here? You still here?
Yeah.
You still hear me?
Yeah.
All right, my bad.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Look, you're kind of lagging out. So Brandon Metz was a 20 seed. I think he was kind of overseeded. Knighton-ward is going to be a big sleeper in this tournament as a 29 seed. I think Knighton-ward
takes it.
Get the pin.
I agree that this is dominant.
I think he's going to be losing because his defense is not the greatest. I think Metz comes out firing on attacks, and I think Knighton-ward hits one of his lat drops and sticks it.
I agree.
But either way, I have Knighton-ward coming out on top. Might be losing,
100%.
Might not. I think it's pretty even from the feet, but upper body wise is going to be Knighton-ward's match. On the mat is going to be his. It's just going to be his.
Definitely. Yeah, Knighton-ward is definitely taking that one. So next we have.
So Brandon Metz from North Dakota State will go 0-2, and Zachary Knighton-ward will advance to round 24. I'll read the matchups for you for consolation because you don't have them all. We have 32 seed Tyler Bagoli from Clarion, and we have 14 seed Carter Isley from UNI, who lost to Gary Traub in the first round. You can talk to me about this.
All right. I talked about this earlier. I'm a big Bergoli guy. I think Clarion is definitely on an up and coming. I think Clarion Wrestling you're going to see them increasingly get better and better every year from the time coming. To see a Clarion wrestler qualify for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they normally have they normally have a good amount out of their conference. They normally have a good amount out of their conference. You know, they almost end up going 0-2 this tournament.
You're like frozen.
What?
You're frozen.
Am I frozen?
Like your internet, like next to your name has like one bar and it's like red.
I mean, it's looking fine here, honestly. Yeah, so.
We good? We back? We're back. Yeah, all right, yeah, you're back to full bars. I don't know. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was you.
I mean, it all depends on what my thing shows, so it really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, all right. So I like Bergoli. I do, but I don't think Bergoli's going to take it. I think Bergoli goes out sadly, and I think
I think he goes out with a valiant effort,
yeah,
5-2 match,
yeah.
but pretty dominant by wrestled pretty safe by Carter Isley.
Yes, I don't think it's anything, to run home about. It's not one of those matches.
So Carter Isley will advance to the round of 24, 14 seed. And 32 seed Tyler Bergoli goes out with a valiant fight going 1-2. So for our next match, we have Deontay Wilson, 22 seed out of North Carolina State, versus Jordan Ernest, 27 seed out of Ohio. Talking.
Okay. So the way I see this match going, I do think this
Getting
is
no followers on TikTok.
you and your TikTok, bro.
Bro, it's dope. Like, you know it too.
I do know it. That you do post some good TikTok quality stuff.
I guess
I'll
they're
give you
decent.
that one, all right. I'll give you some credit, all right. You do post some decent TikToks.
10.4K on Instagram. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
But back to the topic.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Look at the video.
Dude, I'm getting sweaty. I don't know.
We love that. Okay, so hold on. Relist the matchup.
Deontay
you
Wilson,
got me off
22.
track. Your internet. I'm sweating, and it says my internet connection is unstable. God, please.
Yo, stop moving. Stop moving like that. Stop moving. Bro, what did I just say? Stop moving.
I'm from Atlanta. I'm not moving. I'm literally sitting still.
You started moving all the way up. Just don't move. Stay still as possible. It's gonna let it not freeze as much.
All right, I'm still.
So, 22 seeded Deontay Wilson out of NC State will be going up against 27 seeded Jordan Ernest out of Ohio. You can talk about something if you want to. I really don't think there's much to talk about here.
No, not much to talk about at all. I like the guy from Ohio. I really do. I do. I don't think this is a fair matchup. I don't think this is a matchup.
Seating wise, it should be a close matchup, but I really don't think it is. I think Deontay Wilson kind of blows it open a little bit. I think he wins by major decision. He's a very tough, smaller, athletic guy, as we've seen from NC State. After the Nick Wisdowski era, we've seen guys like Sam McDonald, some other guys like a lot of like smaller 197s who bumped up to feel like the more athletic role of there. Because basically they haven't had a stud heavyweight since Nick Wisdowski. So basically the main role they've had is to just push the pace the entire time, push for points rather than turns.
Yeah.
And then on guys that they stay athletic, stay competitive in matches they're not losing, just trying to give up bonus points, really. That was basically been their main goal. So I think Deontay Wilson is a guy who can put up real good points here, and I think he wins by major.
Yeah. Okay.
Regardless, he comes out on top. So Deontay Wilson will advance to the round of 24, while Jordan Ernest from Ohio will sadly go 0-2. So we have 26 seeded Thomas Pinola from Purdue versus 23 seeded Quinn Miller out of Virginia. You could talk about it. I don't think there's much to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about either. I think Quinn Miller, a guy who he wrestled tough against the guy from Harvard. I think he definitely did, well in a way.
I think Yaroslav handles him in that match.
Oh,
I think 6-1, but he gets handled.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think Quinn
People like
Miller,
to blow scores out of proportion with that. I don't think he's a big bonus point guy yet, being he's a true freshman. I think next year he's gonna be blowing guys up.
Yeah, I'm gonna put.
What I see happening at this division for the next couple of years, the top 10 guys basically major and tech everybody and pin everybody else until they get to each other. Which you're gonna see a lot more slugfest matches.
Yeah.
Because this guy Luis Fernandez, coming in, he only lost to Greg Kirkfleet at 6-4.
True.
It could be very interesting. The kind of progress that they've both been making every year, they could very well end up as a national final. People are gonna say I'm crazy for saying that. Maybe I am a little bit. I might be a little bit biased on it, but it's possible in the next couple of years that could very well be a national final in the next coming years.
Yeah, I definitely.
Coming redshirt freshman. Colton Schultz is a year behind them.
I definitely think Kirk is somebody that you're gonna see. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see him no matter what. You're gonna see him in.
And all Luis Fernandez really is a bigger Greg Kirkfleet, just a little bit less technical, and maybe just a little bit less athletic, but just because of size, not because of actual natural athleticism.
Yeah.
I've been able to see Luis Fernandez wrestle against my own teammates and me. And this was before he had that breakout season, and he was good. So,
Yes,
yeah. So I think, who do you think takes the match? I think Panola takes the match.
Yeah, I agree. Panola takes the match.
Panola came out, placed 7th in a very tough Big Ten tournament. Yeah, behind Gable Stevenson, Mason Paris, Tony Cassiope, Trent Hilger, David Jensen, Gary Traub, and Panola's right there. Panola's definitely above average. He's not a bonus point guy, a guy who just grinds out those tough wins. Decently athletic. I think Panola will most likely – it's going to be a close match, but I think Panola takes it no problem.
I'm going to go run to the bathroom quick to, wash my eye because I cannot see.
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead. Cool. Thomas Panola advanced around 24, and Quinn Miller from Virginia will go 0-2 as the 23 seed. So I think it's a decent performance. He's obviously projected to win a match in the Razzle-Off, but yeah. Coming into our last match of the round of 32, round 1 wrestlebacks, we will have John Borst from Virginia Tech, and he will be wrestling Ryan Cloud from Rider. Honestly, this match could be very interesting because two very contrasting body types. Borst is he's a decent sized dude. He's not nothing crazy. But Ryan Cloud is a big man. So, I mean, this could be playing out in a couple of different scenarios, depending on it. Really all comes down to the coin toss.
Got the hair out of my eye. We're back. We're okay.
Yeah, I really think this match turns out is going to turn out in John Borst's favor. But I think it's a lot closer than people think.
I like that decision.
Do you like John Borst?
Yeah, I like that.
So Ryan Cloud, 31 seed from Rider, will go 0-2 this tournament. The senior from Rider.
You hate to see these seniors go 0-2.
Especially from a school like Rider. I mean, even qualifying for national tournament is crazy.
Yeah. I
have a couple of boys that just committed to Rider this year, so yeah. So round of 16. Give me a second, my guy. Let me just add one last thing. I didn't even write down Gable Stevenson. I wrote down something else. I don't even know. So first match of the night, we will have Gable Stevenson from Minnesota. First match of Thursday night, the Thursday night session 2. We will have Gable Stevenson versus 17-seeded Kerry Miller out of Appalachian State. I think this match really is just a another procession bout for Gable, really.
Yeah.
Last year, the round of 16 maybe gave Gable not a full match. Gave Gable a full match. I don't think this round really does that. I think he gets some top hits a couple turns, but I don't think Kerry Miller is a guy that Gable's really going to pin like that. I think he can definitely pull some turns like that. Kerry Miller kind of reminds me of Kristen Colucci from Rutgers a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit above that, right? I think he's a tough dude, not a dude that's going to get pinned and all that. Maybe do that. He kind of just dismantles him technically.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have Gable Stevenson by technical fall.
I'm going to agree with the technical there.
So we're going to have a very good match here with the 9 seed Jordan Wood out of Lehigh, the junior out of Lehigh, versus a sophomore out of Utah Valley, Tate Orndorff, who's at Ohio State now. Last time this match happened, it went in Tate Orndorff's favor. Give me your thoughts on this.
All right. Tate Orndorff's favor last match. I think Jordan Woods realizes the mistakes he made, looks at what is going on.
Because that happened, I think, in maybe a tri-meter or a quad or something like that. Jordan Wood also didn't look just like the same Jordan Wood, you know?
And I think Jordan Wood fixes what he knows. He knows what he's going to try to do.
I think he was wrestling a lot better, won his second EIWA title. He won his second EIWA title. He beat Yaroslav Slavakuski in the finals.
I think Wood takes this match.
I think Wood takes it. I think Wood plays the safe game, but he plays the dominant safe game.
Yeah.
So I'm saying Wood takes a 3-2 match, basically shuts him down offensively, slows down the pace a little bit more. No, maybe tries to push the pace a little bit more in the beginning, slows down and gets his tape under in the end when you know Orndorff's not going to be as good in shape as Wood is. Wood's probably around 255, 260, maybe like the same size as Gable. A little bit of a shorter guy. Orndorff's a little bit more a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, probably around the 285 range. Yeah, so I think Wood just takes it pretty commandingly. I don't think much is going to happen with mat wrestling. I think neutral wrestling is literally just going to be a snatch single from him. Takes his time to finish it, finishes that, and then just takes his procession bout.
Yeah, I definitely.
Wood is a guy who can ride on top, but I don't think anybody's really going to ride each other. We're going to have trouble getting out from bottom. So I'm going to give it to Jordan Wood with a 3-2 decision.
Yeah.
So actually, my bad, I forgot to do this. Kerry Miller from Appalachian State will advance to the round of 24 wrestlebacks, and so will Tate Orndorff from Utah Valley.
I think this season is going to be interesting with Tate Orndorff. I think we could.
100%. I don't think he gets a starting spot though over Gary Traub. That's just my opinion. I think
so?
Traub had too much of a breakout season, and conditioning plays a huge factor, which Orndorff does not have, even for being a big man. But that aside, we're gonna have Matt Stencil versus David Jensen.
Another one where.
So what I'm gonna say about this match, I think it would be a toss-up, but Jensen also didn't wrestle the greatest. I think it really comes down to it's going to be a one takedown match. I don't think Jensen gets off from bottom against Stencil.
Yeah.
Stencil's top right is elite. I think there's not going to be riding time there because Jensen's going to do his best. I think Jensen's going to do his best to ride Stencil. Probably does it just to claim back riding time. So probably turns out like a 2-0 match.
Yeah.
And 3-0 match. I think that's fair thing to say. It's a good fight by Jensen, but I don't think he can pull it off the way he's been wrestling.
No, and
that's Jensen's senior season.
And it sucks to say with especially a guy like Jensen who, he had some.
Yeah, I actually had him All-Americaning after the season before, where he did very good, honestly. Like
he honestly really he showed like a lot of people that he actually like was able to be a super well looking.
Yeah, but he got takedowns on guys like Anthony Cassar.
Yeah.
Which is a lot easier said than done, Like Gable Stevenson couldn't do that second match.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it sucks seeing a guy like Jensen go like that.
Yeah.
But, I just think he wrestled not as good of a season.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's going to show now,
But I think Stencil really is going to get past this with no problem whatsoever. It's not really going to be like there's never going to be any doubt.
Yeah.
So in our fourth round of 16 match, this is more like a round of 32 match in my opinion, honestly. We're going to have Brian Andrews from Wyoming versus Tanner Hall.
Right.
I really think this is a possession match from Tanner Hall. I think Tanner Hall by far has like an easy path.
Oh yeah.
Not in the first round with Zachary Knighton-ward, but I don't think he deserves that seed. So he could have played out a lot of different ways. I don't think either of them, Knighton-ward or Tanner Hall, really deserve the seed they got. Knighton-ward should have been higher. This should have been lower. So that could have still been a match, honestly, but probably not going to see that happen. If they, yeah, I don't know how to feel about that, being completely honest. But with Brian Andrews against Tanner Hall, I think Tanner Hall is just too good technically and offensive-wise for a guy like Brian Andrews. And I think Tanner Hall comes out with a major, 8-0.
Yeah, I definitely agree there where Tanner Hall is not going to have a problem.
Brian Andrews, I think he shows up next year, but I just think the weight class is going to grow past a lot of guys who are going to be the blood round guys this year, which is going to be pretty tough to watch.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Where especially with all these younger guys coming in this season, a lot of decent heavyweights. I don't think it's going to be, the same guys that you've seen.
I think there's many freshmen in the mix. I think guys are going to pro past. I think Yaroslav is going to go past Jordan Wood. I think Fernandez is going to go past Jordan Wood. I think if Colton Schultz comes into the field, that's guys about to get tossed.
I mean, you see Colton Schultz. I mean, but
I see Colton Schultz going right behind Matt Stencil.
Is Tanner Hall
Tanner Hall's a senior, I'm pretty sure.
So he's done.
Yeah. Tanner Hall actually went to overtime with Gable Stevenson.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You see a guy like Colton Schultz come in, and now you have to count him in the mix. You got to count Greg Kirk into the mix. That's another two guys.
Yeah.
Neville's obviously, as you see, is not in the tournament. Didn't really show up to wrestle. I thought he definitely.
Yeah. No. Honestly, I think if you give Neville's another year, he's a lot. I think he All Americans. I just don't think Neville's just didn't wrestle that level of competition to the extent as good as he should have in his first year. Because I was looking at him like, I'm thinking, this guy's going to pin a lot of guys. And I see him against a guy like John Spalding from Edinburgh, and he wins like 4-1. And Spalding was a national qualifier. Again, in this thing, you're going to have the Big Ten. Big Ten, I think, deserves a couple more bids at some weights and a couple less at others. Like in a weight class like 174, 184, where they're really dominated by different conferences,
Yeah, I definitely think
NWA, ACC, Pac-12, Big 12, and all that stuff. And even the SoCon has a couple guys, right? I just don't think – I think the Big Ten is going to need an extra bid next year. The EIWA's top three is going to be stacked with, in my opinion, it's going to be Luis Fernandez, Yaroslav Slavakuski, and we're going to have honestly, what I think is going to happen with seeding, which is going to be kind of rough, it's going to be Jordan Wood's going to take the 1 seed most likely just because he's a 2-time defending champ at that, right?
Yeah.
And then Yaroslav is going to take the 2 seed and Luis Fernandez will take the 3 seed. I think Luis Fernandez will knock off Yaroslav in the semis and knock off Jordan Wood in the finals. But I think Yaroslav might get the seed. And I think Yaroslav still places higher than Jordan Wood, in my opinion.
Yeah, in the national tournament.
That's taking nothing away from Jordan Wood because he's still a very good guy. He's going to be getting better. But I think those guys are getting better at rapid rates, which you really haven't seen.
That's the thing. Everyone's really wondering with what you just said is Jordan Wood getting better? Or is
he is getting better. I think he peaked his sophomore year.
I agree. I agree.
I think everything was set out perfectly for him to win. First round, he had a nobody. Second round, he beat Sam Stoll 2-0. Sam Stoll was not getting out from bottom on him. He was just a 2-0 ride-out match. He got out from bottom. He held Sam Stoll down. That's all it was. And then who do you wrestle in the quarterfinals? No, him versus Sam Stoll was a quarterfinal match.
Yeah.
And then Sam Stoll lost to Yusuf Hamida. Got bodied by Yusuf Hamida, who he did beat before. 1-0. So, and then in the semis, he ended up losing to Derek White.
Yeah.
And then he ended up beating either Amar Desi or Yusuf Amida to make the third place match. Or
I think he
again,
beat-
a tough draw is
I think he beat Amida,
Gable
right?
Stevenson in the third place match, so he
I
plays
think-
fourth. I think him versus Derek White went to overtime again. Again, the seeding, it was seeded the way I knew would. Derek White gets the 1 seed. Do I think they could have overruled that for some aspect? Yes. But I can't argue with the seeding knowing it's the way it should have been seeded. I just don't think it's right.
Yeah, I agree.
It should have went – yeah, I think Gable versus Derek White should have been that. And then Kassar versus Wood should have been that. Kassar majors Wood again. And Gable takes out Derek White pretty handily.
I mean, I feel like that's what everyone would have liked to see, but it's not. That's just
100%. Because Jordan Wood, the way I feel about him is you can take him down once, you can take him down 3 more times.
Yeah.
Once you figure him out, you figured him out. If you don't figure him out, you're not figuring him out.
I saw him wrestle Oklahoma State.
Derek White.
No.
The guy this year?
Yeah.
The guy this year is not good. He's a freshman. He's not bad, but he's very undersized. I think he's 97-pounder that they just wrestled in the spot. Kid really stood no chance against anybody.
But honestly, though, I don't think Jordan Wood looked that good wrestling him. Honestly, he
Cassiope beat that kid 9-0, I'm pretty sure. So it's not like the kid's terrible. The kid's a tough dude.
Yeah, he didn't qualify for nationals, sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, as a freshman, though, I think he did.
As a freshman, 197-pounder bumped up's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that kid ends up like Jacob Casper, body type guy. Do I think he does as good as Jacob Casper? Definitely not. But Jacob Casper, again, it's a guy like Jacob Casper had a season. You know?
Yeah.
Barely lost to Kyle Snyder. Maybe by like 6 points, which is barely for Kyle Snyder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, we're both just laid back right now.
It's late night shots, man. It's late night shots. It's time to relax.
So our next match, we're going to get into the bottom half of the bracket. We have Tony Cassiope from Iowa, the redshirt freshman, 20-3, versus Gary Traub.
Cassiope.
You know what I really don't like in this match is the matchup between them two. Maybe a little more. No, I don't like that view. My titties. That's it. Main thing I don't like about this match is that Gary Traub nearly rode out Tony Cassiope for a whole period.
That's the
match
issue.
Was won in the duel because he almost ran him out for a period. But Traub cannot pick bottom on him.
Now, if Traub picks bottom on him, it's over.
Yeah.
So if that's the thing I'm thinking of is if the coin. Okay, so let's just say first period happened. Oh, it's 0-0, right?
I don't see Cassiope turning. Cassiope won the match at Big Tens. I think it was a quarterfinal match. Cassiope was a 4 seed. Cassiope was a 3 seed. Gary Traub was a 6 seed. Cassiope won that match 4-0.
Yeah.
Am I about to get copyrighted because of this picture?
Probably not. Actually, probably. Big Ten Wrestler of the Week. Fiddlesticks. I think that might be it. Let him come at you.
It's a big maybe. So again, I think this is another. I think Cassiope is just too good technically, just as athletic. Conditioning maybe on Gary Traub's side, but if you're on bottom, conditioning does not matter too much, honestly, at that point. And I see Cassiope taking it solid again, but I think it's a little bit closer than it was the first 2 times because it's been close every time. It's a solid 2-0 match. No takedowns are scored from the feet. Traub gets Gary doesn't. Gary picks neutral, or picks bottom, gets ridden out. Either 1-0 or 2-0 match. I'm gonna make it 2-0, thinking that if it's 1-0 heading into the third, right, that Tom Ryan is gonna make him pick bottom. Right.
Definitely, yeah. He's gonna make him pick bottom.
So we're gonna have Tony Cassiope coming out there, and Schwab will advance to round 24 wrestlebacks. An interesting style matchup comes in our next match with Iowa State's junior Gannon Gremmel versus sophomore Trent Hoger. You can talk about it.
I like Gannon Gremmel. I like him in this match particularly.
Okay, what I'm going to say is, did you see Gannon Gremmel versus that guy from Bucknell?
Yeah.
Where he got DQ'd?
Yeah. That was quite funny.
Pretty stupid, in my opinion, to do all that.
Yeah.
He's like, what did I do? I'm like, you know exactly what you did.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm doing right now?
Filling up your bowl of popcorn again?
Sir.
Yes, sir. I'm out of popcorn, sadly. And I'm not taking a 5-minute break to go all the way downstairs and make some popcorn. I started off doing the my eye is so messed up. Look at my eye. It's so red.
Yeah.
I started doing the podcast downstairs, and I was good. I was chilling. But then I was like, all right, I bought a webcam, came upstairs, it was like, all right.
That webcam is terrible, dude.
This webcam?
Yeah.
No, this webcam is beautiful.
It's pretty grainy.
It cost me $14 on Amazon. I got it primed here in like 3 days. It's worth the $14, all right? Honestly, it doesn't look that bad today. Yesterday it looked rough, but honestly, it doesn't look bad today. I think it's the color shirt I'm wearing. I think it's
Trent Hoger's the man.
That picture of Trent Hoger is more grainy than my webcam.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
it's better on mine though, you know.
All right, final answer. I'm putting it out there right now. Gannon Gremmel wins.
You got Trent Hoger.
All right, rock, paper, scissors.
I got Trent Hoger in my major, dude.
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right. Rock, paper, scissors. Did I not show you? What do you have? Hey, let's go.
All right, Trent Hoger advances. I'm sorry, Gannon Gremmel. I really tried. All right.
We both just shut it off camera. I was like, what?
I was like, damn it. I really like Gannon Gremmel. He better come back and take third. I have Gannon Gremmel in the finals. Next year, Gannon Gremmel's the NCAA champ at heavyweight. Watch.
You know why I don't like Gannon Gremmel?
Because he got DQ'd against the kid from Bucknell?
I don't care about that. It wasn't Eric. If it was Eric Chaconis, I would have been mad. Because Chaconis is my boy. Two-time New Jersey State champ.
Why don't you like Gannon Gremmel?
He's friends with Kerrigan Cohn.
All right, and who's that?
The guy who kept scamming little kids.
I play so clueless, but I know what you're talking about. Isn't that like the TikTok guy or whatever? Who like didn't send out the shirts or whatever that he had and like.
Yeah. Scam kids of other things too.
Really?
I have an 8-0 for Helger.
Fine. All right, you get that one.
Demetrius Thomas is our next match versus Yaroslav Slavkuski. Again,
this is a rough one. This is a hard one. This is actually going to be
I don't think it's hard.
No? You think Yaroslav takes it?
I think Demetrius Thomas runs through him, dude.
I was agreeing. That's why I thought you were going to be on the Yaroslav side. I thought you were going to – no, I agree with you. I think Demetrius Thomas runs through him.
I think it's a major.
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
I think Demetrius Thomas is too much bigger. And I think Demetrius Thomas is faster than this kid.
It's a bad I've never seen a picture of him. I got to look up what he
Demetrius
looks like.
Thomas?
No, Yaroslav Slavikuski.
He's like an Asian dude.
Is
well,
he
obviously he's Asian, but like.
I mean, yeah, he goes to Harvard. How do you even spell his name?
Figure that out, but I'm going to have Demetrius Thomas again, 8-0.
I have to look how to spell his name because I'm not. Sorry, I cursed. Oh no.
And then I really don't think there's much to talk about in our last match, honestly.
Yeah,
Mason Gerhino.
Yeah, Mason Paris takes it.
I don't think he pins him. I think it's a tech fall. And I will say that for the sole reason that Gerhino is very technical and very athletic. So I think he gets hit by the dump because Paris is stronger than him. I don't think he gets pinned by the dump because he's more athletic.
Excuse me? What did you say about Yaroslav Slavikovsky?
What?
He is a big, buff white man.
No, he's not. What are you looking at?
His Instagram?
He's
the guy in green.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
I don't think so.
Here's another picture of him at Harvard.
One second. What's his Instagram?
Yaroslav_Slavikovsky. He's literally just this big Russian man. Or it's like, I don't know. He's not Russian. I think he's like Czechoslovakian. It's him. He's white.
Give me a second.
If you just type in his first name, it comes right now.
Yeah, but how big do you think that is, dude?
What do you mean?
He's only like 230. He's not big.
I know, but he that's him. He's white. He's buff though. He's built.
Please look at Demetrius Thomas for me.
All right, how do you spell his name?
It's Yaman Meach.
What's it called?
Yaman.
I found it. Oh yeah, I've seen him before.
Yeah,
that's a big dude.
This dude blasts double Jordan Wood to another dimension 8 times.
I do remember seeing that. Did you ever see him versus the guy from Michigan State?
The guy from Michigan State's terrible. Christian Rivitaro?
Yeah, he posted on his Instagram choo-choo. He killed him.
Where is that?
You liked it.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah, it says a choo-choo freight train coming through. It's him blast doubling guy from Michigan State.
His girlfriend, though.
Oh, shit, she's like a
Division
volleyball player, yeah.
Dude, this man is...
Or she's probably like, no joke, I swear to you, she's probably like 6'6".
Bro, those are D1 babies right there.
If they don't... Okay, that's like Nolf and his wife. His wife was like a 3-time NCAA champ for track. Like, their kids are going to be super athletes.
A 500-pound squat casually as a 220-pound sophomore in college.
We love that. That's called you're just an absolute animal.
No, Mason Parrish is 700, my dude.
Still. Mason Parrish is that's a different breed. That Mason Parrish is a different type of person. Oh no, I played the video. Yeah, I mean,
where's the 700-pound squat? Well.
Yeah, don't worry. This is just intermission. We'll get back to it. Is it bad for like a good 3 days? I thought Mason Parrish was Pat Brookie.
Pat Brookie's probably stronger than Mason Parrish, to be completely honest.
Yeah, Pat Brookie is ripped.
I'm gonna take that back.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I think maybe a little too much. Pound for pounder, Pat Glory is the strongest guy in the country.
Right. Okay.
Unless Nick Sirianni's in this weight class.
You know what Varner looks like?
What?
Tell me this picture of Mason Parrish doesn't look like a young Varner. You probably can't see it because it's so wait, hold on. Let me
stop moving your phone for a second and just let it settle into the brightness. Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, he looks like Varner, like a young Varner. 200 wins in high school.
But we'll get
Dominant.
Mason Parrish to tech fall.
Oh yeah. Back to what we were talking about. Yeah, Mason Parrish definitely. Sorry, I'm playing iMessage mini golf, and it's kind of addicting.
All right, so you down to get back to the wrestle-offs now?
Of course.
The round 24 wrestlebacks.
Yes, let's get it.
Dalton Robertson from Colorado versus Jared Hino from Campbell.
All right, I think that
This is by far the two guys sneaking in there, honestly.
Yeah, I definitely think that the kid from Campbell takes this one.
Mm-hmm. Same, and I think he pins him.
Yeah, I don't think this one lasts very long either.
Dalton Robertson's out. Jared Hino will advance to the round wrestleback threes. Ben Sullivan versus Yaroslav Kuski.
Yeah, Yaroslav's taking it, no doubt.
I don't think it's as far-fetched as you think. I think it's 5-2 decision. But it's a dominant match.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I'll agree with you on that one. It's not as dominant as people would have thought. That's what
Yeah.
I think people would have thought Yaroslav would have came in there and
a lot of people don't give this kid the hype he deserves, honestly. But they gave guys like Mason Parrish hype after getting pinned in the blood round by Matt Stencil. For no reason whatsoever. But
Yeah.
Here's a good match. You can rant for a little bit. Josh Hokett versus Gannon Gremmel.
My boy Gannon Gremmel is winning this match. I don't care if I have to rock, paper, scissors 17 times. I'm telling you, the size of Gremmel is taking out Hokett. Actually, no. Gannon Gremmel gets disqualified and gets kicked out of the tournament.
Dude, if I wrestled Gable and I knew I could last the whole match, all I would do is try to piss him off the entire match.
I agree. I'd hit him too hard in the face or something and be like,
Gable swings at me in the round of 32 and gets DQ'd.
That'd be funny as hell. Bro, that's saying you make it to the round of 32. What if you draw the 33 seed of the pigtail?
I'm not going D1, so it don't matter.
I mean, there's still the D2 NCAA tournament.
Yeah, but I'm probably not gonna be a starter.
You will be eventually.
Yeah, hopefully. We can give Gannon Gremmel. Right.
Thank the Lord, my boy.
I think he's the guy. OG. I think Josh Hokett has been more focused on football. He's a draft prospect at this point.
Yeah. Everyone kind of knew that Hokett where he was mentally on this.
Yeah. He has a killer instinct for him. I think he goes big. If he would wrestle Gable Stevenson, he would try to throw him right off the bat. Ooh, this is a very good match. Zachary Knighton-ward versus Gary Traub.
I think Knighton-ward takes it. Upset alert. I think upset alert Gary Traub is done.
You know what's worse?
What?
I think that too.
I agree. I really do. I think Knighton-ward is somebody that only is in the situation he is in because of the seeding. I 100% think. I mean, he's no offense. He's not the greatest wrestler in this bracket, no means. And
I think record trying to mess with the seeding a little bit too. That's kind of the main thing I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Again, as I said in the beginning, he's going to place a lot higher in the seed. I think him versus Gary Traub, I don't know. I honestly think he pins Gary Traub in the lat drop.
I really do think he has Gary Traub's number.
So we can agree on that?
Yep.
So 29 seed Zachary Knighton-ward is into the round of 16.
Yes, sir.
19 seed Mr. Gas Tank has sadly been eliminated.
Bye,
After
Gary.
going,
1 and 2.
yeah.
You hate to see it happen.
1 and 1.
1 and 1.
No, wait. No, 1 and 2, you're right.
Are we going for a third bowl? You go for third bowl? Go for third bowl?
After this one, maybe. I think this is another lower level match we're having at this round. And this is going to be a complete slugfest. This match is going to be Carter Isley from UNI versus Brian Andrews from Wyoming.
All right. Now, the only reason that I think anything other than having Andrews, like, obliterating him, I think Andrews is losing. That's what I'm going to do.
You have Andrews losing?
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, I thought you said, I don't know.
I was trying to formulate a sentence, but my brain really was not clicking.
Oh, yeah, just it was Isley winning.
Yeah, Isley winning.
Carter Isley wins a complete slugfest. That's really it.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be, it's going to be, I think it's going to be an exciting match.
I can even tell you what the thing is. Neither of these guys, from what I've seen, go upper body at all. Carter Isley might get a couple stalling calls. I really don't think there's a takedown. I think he goes the distance. Depends on who gets the coin toss. I think Carter Isley gets the coin toss. No, you know what it comes down to? I think it comes down to riding time, and Carter Isley takes it.
Yeah, I definitely could agree with that.
I think he has maybe 10-pound weight advantage on Brian Andrews.
Yeah.
He rides him.
Not much, yeah.
Yeah, he rides him. I really don't know what to say here. There isn't really much to talk about. So, Brian Andrews from Wyoming has been eliminated, while 14-seed Carter Isley sneaks in to the round of 16. A very interesting contrast of styles. I think we're going to have coming into the next round. We have Deontay Wilson, the 22 seed out of NC State. Again, around 230, very lean, muscular build. Goes whole 6 minutes, pushes the pace. Very dominant in his hand fighting for somebody that small. And then we have a guy like Jensen, who's around 280, 6'1", 6'2". Decent, pretty athletic, but nothing compared to Wilson. Heavy hips, heavy sprawls, pretty dominant in the hand fighting. Can get on those leg attacks, hit a knee on the shots and all that. And I also think Jensen has a pretty good top right on him. So if it really comes to that, I really don't know what happens, but you can tell me. All
right. Jensen, big boy. Jensen is a large character, and I think Jensen's top rounding abilities are going to play factor.
100%. I really like Wilson. I think Wilson's going to be up there in years to come. I didn't rank him too highly because I don't know how he's going to fare, again, with the whole weight class growing up there. I still have him falling in the round of 16, around 24 next year. But I think Jensen's it's his senior season. It's his last chance.
Yeah, it's time to shine, make your break.
He's going to go for a tough right on top, which is what he's good at. That's his bread and butter right there.
Yeah.
I think Jensen takes it pretty dominant. Like, I think 5-0.
Yeah.
So 22-seeded Deontay Wilson falls in the round of 24, while 21-seed David Jensen will advance to the round of 16.
Yeah.
A weird matchup that I've never really talked about would be Thomas Pinola from Purdue and Tate Orndorff from Utah Valley. I really don't know how this would happen. Pinola's maybe a less than solid dude, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He had a somewhat of an easier first round match with Quinn Miller from Virginia, but I really don't think all that is going to happen with Tate Orndorff. Tate Orndorff is a little more dominant upper body, not the greatest conditioning. Panola really isn't known for any athletic ability or anything. He's just known for being a grinder and just taking the tough matches against lower ranked kids for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't think he really has a high bonus percentage rate or anything like that where he can
No,
really
I
wear
don't
him
think
down,
so.
get takedown late in the third period. I think if it does come down to it in the third period, and he's wearing him down, I think if it's even, Panola does take the win. But do I think it's going to be even? No, I'm going to have Orndorff by pin.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't think there's much to talk about in this. Like, the contrast of styles is very interesting to think about. Because I think if this happens 2 years down the road when they're both seniors, I think it's a very competitive match.
Definitely.
I think Panola's a guy that really needs to grow into his body a little bit more. Same with Tato Orndorff. Get his body right at Ohio State. Like, Gary Traub's a junior, going to be a senior next year, and Tato's only going to be a junior. So
yeah,
he has a year left of eligibility from Ohio State. Thinks he's going to be a national contender. Wrestling at Ohio State might be a little bit tougher now because I think only Colin Moore, Miles Martin really left. With Kyle Snyder leaving, Kirk Vliet leaving, everybody going to Penn State. Penn State's going to be a force to be reckoned with next year, right?
Especially like
even if Neville's is still the starter, Neville's going to do very good at Penn State. You know,
I've been thinking of like all this going on, right? You see all these big guys going to Penn State for like the Olympic level, right? And that's only going to help.
all right, he liked that again. So I'm just going to talking about all the Penn State transfers that have really been going on. So main thing that happened is basically at Penn State right now we had sitting before everything happened would be Nick Neville, the original starter at heavyweight, Anthony Cassar, the defending national champion, who ended up getting injured in the match against Don Bradley. I think tearing his labrum in his shoulder or something like that happening. And who else did we have? Seth Neville's, of course, you're going to have there. And those are the three main guys that are just like sitting at Penn State. Seth Neville's, Nick Neville's, two insanely hyped up guys coming into the season. Nick Neville's is the older brother of Seth, just came in a while ago, ended up losing his spot to Anthony Cassar. So basically, with Ohio State and all that's really going on, I don't know why, but Kyle Snyder decided to make the choice to go to Penn State. Snyder is the defending 97-kilo Olympic champion at Rio. He ended up beating not Sajulaev, so someone else. Sajulaev won at 86. I think Snyder it's going to come down to Snyder versus Cox for the 97 kg spot. So it's going to be very interesting. I think Snyder thinks he wants to get the best training partners possible, and that's why he's really going to head to Ohio State, head from Ohio State to Penn State, so we can practice with guys like Cassar, Seth Neville's, Nick Neville's, and get that feel around, right? Because Anthony Cassar is going to give you a feel more of like Taha Agul, just maybe a little bit less technique, a little different setups, more. Again, they both go like that the lefty Russian to the single or double, just like Taha Agul does. Obviously, Agul is probably on a different level than Cassar, but you get that same real feel around that. Nick Neville's is going to help with a lot of different feels too, just like the average like guys, not the Russians or any of those the high level European Asian dudes. Maybe like a little bit of like the lower level guys, just like not really that, just like the way they wrestle the field, more the snatch singles, the way the upper weights like to play their matches, and all of that. But I think a lot of this can really help a lot. And Seth Neville is going to help with a lot of like the bigger, stronger guys in the weight class. And Seth Neville is probably insanely strong. I mean, he's about 6'4", 6'5", probably cutting a little bit to get to 285 at this point, right? Getting his body right. So I think that's a big thing that's going to happen with them, you know. So, and following them, Greg Kirkland actually came in. So I think Kirkland is a great training partner to have with Kyle Snyder. I think Kirkland, based on that, he already had Kyle Snyder as a practice partner to be in the room daily with him, which is going to be huge to help him, right? And I think, honestly, having all this with them is going to make it a lot more possible for Kirkland to knock off Gable Stevenson. Because right now, Gable Stevenson's a front runner, but nobody really likes to take into account who's in the wrestling room with them, who's really practicing with them for the time being. And I think people are really sleeping a lot on Greg Kirkfleet, thinking Mason Parris is going to beat him, Gable Stevenson's going to beat him, all these guys are going to beat him. They have him ranked 16th as far as I saw, and I really think a lot of that is just not going to happen. So he just lagged out. He just not come back. Let me just give him a call. Let's see what happens. Maybe we can get him to join on back on the phone or something, because I'm really trying to finish this video. I really don't want to have part 2. So yeah, let's see what happens. Give me a second. I'm still trying to get a hold of him. I don't know what's going on, honestly, right now. Yo. Yeah, I don't know, man. His internet connection was a little bit spotty. Let me just try again. Honestly, what's gonna happen is we might have to do part 2 of this video. That's kind of tough. I'm actually gonna step away for a second because my connection is gonna be better in that room. Yeah, let's see what happens. All right, guys. So we are back. Just got a hold of him. His computer shut down unexpectedly, but we are still gonna get this done in one part. Again, I don't think a lot of you would have made this as far, but uh, he had to do a hard reset on his computer because something got screwed up in there. So yeah, I mean, since we pretty much talked about the last match, which is going to be going down between Thomas Pinola of Purdue and Taylor Order of Utah Valley. Again, we had Taylor Order is going to be a lot bigger and stronger than Pinola, which I don't think he can really overcome with his speed at this point in time or in the top position. I really don't think it's going to be that good, and we really just have him getting dominated by Tate Orndorff in the top position. So we're going to have Tate Orndorff winning by fall, and Tate Orndorff will advance to the round of 16, while Thomas Pinola will be eliminated from the bracket. So again, in this match, I'll just be continuing a little bit without him until he comes back. So he is on his way back into this. Yeah, this next match is going to be between John Borst from Virginia Tech, who has a 21-9 record. He's the 18 seed. He's done pretty good up until this point. He ended up falling to Jair Hino in a 3-1 overtime match. We still have Hino alive in his bracket, taking out Don Robertson against a guy like Kerry Miller from Appalachian State. I really think this match can go either way. My bad. A wire got messed up. 1 second, guys. Let me plug back in. I think the main question here is who's going to be able to get that one takedown needs to win this match. Because I think this match is so dead even. But I know somebody has to get taken down in this match. Where it could honestly really go either way in this match. So I really don't know what exactly is going to happen with these two guys. But ultimately, I'm going to have Kerry Miller taking out John Borst in this match. And then so Kerry Miller will advance to the round of 16 while John Borst from Virginia Tech will be eliminated. I talked for a little bit while you were gone, dude, so.
Yeah, no, you're good. My computer had like an update, and I have it just on like auto update because I'm usually not on this computer much, and I had like hard reset to override the update. So we're back. We're back and better than ever. All right. Okay. So where are we at now?
Round of 16 wrestlebacks.
Okay.
To get into the blood round.
Yep.
So
we just had John Borst go home. Sad to say, but it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
Eventually.
Tough guy. I think he might come back next year. I really don't know. I made my whole predictions based on the rankings too. You can go check them out. They're on my Instagram. Yeah, none of you got this far on the video. That's fine.
We could honestly.
Derek's mom, if you're still watching this, you can go check out the rankings on my Instagram.
Yeah, Heavyweight Nation.
We appreciate the support.
Yeah, thank you, Mom. Much appreciated. Also,
you guys here when we have 10 million followers in the next few years, and you come back looking at our old episodes, we appreciate you.
Yeah. Honestly, though, like, Mom.
Comment your favorite vegetable below.
Yeah, Mom, if you're watching this, I need more popcorn, so if you can put that in the grocery list for this week, that'd be really great. Good looks, Mom.
And now let's get back to it. So in the first one, we're going to have Jair Hino of Campbell versus Yaroslav Slavakuski. The main thing about this match is they're both at the same body type, both same thing, honestly. I honestly think this match can go either way. But I think Yaroslav, just the tournament he's going to be having, he had a little bit of a tough match with Demetrius Thomas. I think he goes down with a very tough fight, but ultimately ends up getting pretty much dismantled physically.
Yeah, I think Yaroslav takes it.
I think he comes back extremely aggressive in this match. I think it's a takedown fest.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a high-scoring match, no doubt. But I think Yaroslav takes it.
I think I'm going to have Yaroslav winning 10-8.
I agree.
So we're going to have Yaroslav Slavakuski.
Where do you think he's from? I saw the flag. Maybe Bulgaria, I think.
Czech Republic?
Yeah, Czech Republic, Bulgaria.
Sweden.
Something like Sweden. Yeah, no.
Somewhere in Europe.
No, not Sweden. Sweden's yellow and blue.
Into the flag, my bad. Russian on them.
No. It was like red, green, and yellow. Red, yellow, green. That way. I don't know.
Italy?
No. Red, yellow, green.
Greece?
It could be Greece. I was thinking not Greece or, like I said,
Czech it's Republic. Like a peculiar name. I don't know. I think Czech Republic might sound right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can go into our second match, second round 16 match, which will be going down between Zachary Knighton-ward, who just came off a huge upset, so he's riding the heat wave as a 29 seed. He already knocked off Brendan Metz of North Dakota State. He just knocked off Gary Traub, who's the guy who's predicted to place, and he has Gannon Gremmel. What happens? In my opinion, I think Gremmel just gets the better of him here, honestly. I don't think it takes it to him. I think it's a very hard fought match, but it just gets shut down immediately.
Yeah, I definitely could agree with that. That it's not going to.
Again, we're just giving the typical 5-2. You know.
Yeah.
I don't see anything really here getting blown out of proportion. I think he's down 30 seconds. I think Knighton's fighting for a comeback, goes for a throw, no success.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have Gannon Gremmel advancing to the blood round, while Zachary Knighton-ward, although he put up a valiant fight as the 29 seed, is gonna go home empty-handed. So, again, a little lower level. No, actually, we have Carter Isley from UNI.
Yeah.
Versus David Jensen from Nebraska. I don't think there's much to talk about in this match. I think Jensen takes it pretty easily.
Yeah. Definitely.
Honestly, I think Jensen could pin him right here.
Yeah, I think
I really don't see much interest happening in the match because none of them really have. Compared to Isley,
David I was correct.
Extremely high-flying offense.
I was correct. He's from Bulgaria.
Bulgaria? Yeah, but on this, I really think Jensen just manhandles him.
Yeah, I think Jensen's like this is
because Isley had a pretty easy route getting here. Honestly, won a dogfight over him. He's probably a little bit tired heading into Thursday night. You know. Oh no, never mind. This is Friday morning. A little sore from the night before, maybe. Just honestly ready for it to be over.
I can only imagine wrestling in a hard, tough tournament like this. What you wake up feeling like that next morning.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're obviously in very good shape, so it's not
gonna.
So David Jensen will advance to the blood round from Nebraska as the 21 seed. And 14-seeded Carter Isley from UNI will go home empty-handed.
Sad to see, as we said. You know.
But he went a lot farther than I thought. Further than I thought, honestly. I thought he was gonna be around. I thought he was gonna be an 0-2 guy or a 1-2 guy. But he went 2-2, so I give him credit for that. I didn't think he'd get this far until I actually looked at the bracket more in depth and
What seed was he?
He's the 14 seed, but I thought he was gonna go 0-2.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, honestly. Basically, if you're a 25 seed to 32 seed, you're projected to go 0-2. 17 to 24, you're projected to go 1-2, and then just going off there, right? Now we have our last round of 16 match, which is going to be between Utah Valley's Tate Orndorff, who is the 8 seed, and Kerry Miller from Appalachian State, who is the 17 seed.
I think Orndorff definitely is going to take this.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I think Kerry Miller is going to get a takedown, though. I think this is going to be a match where he's going to get thrown right to his back and pin eventually.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a third period pin to Tate Orndorff.
Yeah.
And the main reason I'm going to say this is because Miller, I don't think he's going to be able to stand in physically with a guy like this, you know? Because even Hilger looked like he struggled a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely did struggle a little.
But Hilger has the conditioning to get on the shots. Blasted over and threw him right to his back in overtime and pinned him. He gave up the pin, but you know what? He was still won the match over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to give this match to Orndorff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any way that you can't.
Yeah. So 8-seeded Tate Orndorff will advance to the blood round, and Kerry Miller, the 17 seed, valiant effort, got a lot further than I thought.
Yeah, another guy that got a lot further.
Not too much further, but like around further than I thought. As a 17 seed, put up a dominant fight. He'll be back next season, you know. So we have our guys that advanced to the blood round. We have Yaroslav Slavkuski from the freshman from Harvard, who is the 10 seed in here. We have Gannon Gremmel, the 11 seed, the junior from Iowa State in here. We have the senior 21 seed, Dave Jensen, coming off injury, making a valiant push to the blood round. And we have the rising sophomore, Tate Orndorff, the 8 seed, into the blood round.
All righty, now it's
time for that's going to happen is the quarterfinals. First match is going to be a rematch of the third place match at NCAAs last year, and it's going to go down between Minnesota sophomore sensation Gable Stevenson and the Lehigh stable. Basically, that's it.
Yeah, Lehigh Staple, just an all-around, an all-around wrestler.
That's their guy. Him, Brandon Pateslow, Jordan Color. That's really all they got. I think this match pretty much goes the way it did last time, 7-1. I think the same score is probably going to happen again. But I think Wood's bottom game is a little bit more defined now, so I don't think he gets ridden out by Gable. So I'm giving him a 7-3 decision.
As much as I want to say Gable loses this match, it won't.
You think Gable?
No, I said as much as I want to, as much as I don't want to see Gable advance to the semifinals and just have him drop down to the consolations, I don't think it's going to happen. And it sucks because I'm not the biggest Gable fan, and I just think he is very cocky.
I'm not either, but you got to respect greatness at a point.
Yeah, you got to. I think he's very cocky. I'm going to say this, and this might be something I'm going to say. I don't think he'll ever win a national title.
I don't either.
I think he's going to lose this year, and then he'll lose the next year.
I have to say he's going to win this year, but do I want him to? Not really.
I don't think so.
But he likes in comments on my posts, so.
Yeah, I think Kirk beats him.
I think somebody beats him. I really don't care who it is.
Yeah, anyone beats him. Paris beats him. Cassiope beats him. Kirk beats him. Colton Schultz beats him.
I don't know how Schultz will do next year, honestly. I don't think that leg throw defense is really going to do too well in college.
Yeah.
But he's pinned top guys with that.
He has.
He pinned a kid in the Tournament of Champion Finals in 16 seconds. The guy took a shot, grabbed the front headlock. He tried to get back on the shot and got chin whip flipped. Bro, I freaked after that. It's like one of the first posts I'm watching. It happened at the Tournament Champions. He pinned everybody in that tournament under a minute.
That is just...
He beat John Birchmeyer 6-0.
Is it on your Instagram?
Dude, it's like one of the first ever posts.
I want to find it.
Don't scroll through it.
No, I won't. I'll look at it later.
You could search it up. It's probably on Flow.
Yeah, it definitely is on Flow.
Search Tournament of Champions 2018.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, again, if we're looking at it, I'm going to have to give Gable Stevenson a 7-3 decision here.
Yeah, there's no way you can't, though. That's the thing. It's like, it sucks because, again, not the biggest Gable guy.
Yeah, me neither. So about 377 will go to Gable Stevenson. Jordan Wood. Ooh, this is interesting to the way I had it playing out, dude.
Is it?
I remember I did the bracket. It looked a lot different than this. I'm going through it. It's like, ooh. Jordan Wood will be wrestling Gannon Gremmel in the Blood Round.
One of my two boys has to go. I hate it.
You know what this is?
Bowl number 3.
Oh, 3.
Number 3.
Yeah, no, that's number 3. Oh, no, I'm dropping popcorn. It's my mom's desk, dude. Whatever. Second one, Matt Stencil versus Tanner Hall. Talk to me.
Upset here. Stencil's going to take it.
It's not an upset, in my opinion.
I mean, it isn't. It's the 4 and 5. But technically, still an upset. Technically.
In my opinion, this should be Matt Stencil versus Trent Hilger.
I 100% agree.
Tanner Hall versus Tony Cassiope might be interesting.
Definitely. I have to say, one of my favorite posts on your Instagram is the picture of Tony Cassiope having that single leg lift. It has the guy lifted on his chest. The guy from Ohio State.
Traub?
Yeah, he has Traub in the air, and he literally has a almost push and sat on his chest, and he's so far up in the air.
That was for a YouTube video, and Gary was just like, "Come on, man, come on now."
That's whack.
So give me some insight on this match. How do you think it's going to play out? Just dive a little bit in depth to it, because we're into the quarterfinals now. These are the matches people came to see, you know.
But is
These
anyone
are where,
actually
like,
watching? Is
the
everyone?
styles of the guys are really going to matter.
Is anyone watching this deep into the video? Yes. Mom, I love you. Back to what we're saying now. I think my mom has no clue who any of these people are. So that's the funny part. She's gonna wake me up tomorrow. Who's Gannon Greville? Mom, I love you. Okay. Honestly,
I told
here.
my mom not to watch the video, so she's not disappointed.
Who's that large
I'm watching
boy?
Gary Vee. He's talking like the 6-year-old kid. He's like, never worry about how many people are subscribed to your channel. That's the reason most kids quit. So, like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to chill with 3 views. Maybe in a year I'll start getting 4 or 5 on a video.
And in another year it'll be 10, then 100, then 100,000, and then we have the #1 wrestling podcast in America. And we don't have to work. We just sit here and think of videos, and there you go.
Yeah, you know.
What did that be like?
Look at my head just like on the side, and you're just the whole screen.
You're just covering fucking Trent Hilger's nip. We don't no nip slips here.
I
have a TikTok idea. No one's watching this, so no one's gonna steal a TikTok. Can we do like a TikTok where it's like nip slips, heavyweights wearing a 2-piece?
I wore a 2-piece for the exact same reason, dude.
Bro, I don't wear a 2-piece. I wear the singlet. I'm proud of my nip slips every single match.
No, we had a singlet, but like my nips were just like they were completely out before the match because the singlet's meant for like a dude who's like short.
Yeah. You see, my coach, we get new singlets every year, so it's not at least.
Our school's broken. We suck.
Our school's broken. We also suck. I mean, actually, no. We're 4th. We got 4th in the district 3 years in a row.
No, what am I talking about? Our school's rich.
That's what I'm saying. You live in a really nice house, and you said you live by the school, so the schools by the house are nice. So
Our marching band team was like #2 in the country.
Marching band.
That's where all the money goes.
Marching, not football, but marching band.
You know how like all these marching band parents be like, oh, we go to all the football games. They don't come to any of our things. So we all gathered together and showed up for the marching band things. It just looked good for social media publicity.
You were the person. You were like, yeah, marching band.
No, they're dead silent during the things.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd be sitting there like, what am I doing here? I'd be like,
it's low-key not bad.
No?
Just all Indian people's in there. That was kind of the weird part.
There's a lot of what?
A lot of Indian people just in there.
Really?
You know what we have to figure out?
What?
We might start going live on YouTube as Zoom. I figured out how to like link it to the live.
Yo, that's what.
Maybe we can just like talk for a little bit.
That's what our special guest asked. He was like, "Yo, like, is this like a live thing or is it like a recorded and then posted as it gets recorded and posted?"
We can do a live on YouTube, honestly.
No. I think tomorrow's video is going to be very good. So I think we should keep that as a video, and then we could do like a live, a separate thing. Like then, because like that way we could both post about it. Like I could get people to watch it live.
No, I mean like not tomorrow. I mean like
yeah. Like if we want to do like the day after tomorrow, we can go live. That's
Cause like who wants to see me chomping down the popcorn like 3 a.m. like
live. I told you, popcorn is now the snack of Heavyweight Nation.
100%. Well, again, what I'm going to go with this match, we'll get back into it.
Yeah.
There's no real doubt in my mind that Matt Stencil takes this.
I agree.
I give Matt Stencil – I don't want to do it. I give Matt Stencil an 11-3 major.
I agree here.
More dominant than what Gable Stevenson had. So, because Matt Stencil, the main thing this year, I think he's come into. What was he, a sophomore this year?
Yeah.
I thought he was a senior, dude. Like I was tripping for some reason. He was able to get in on those open shots on guys. Like his shots are just so smooth. Like you don't expect.
They're clean.
When you see Gable, he just drops in a guy's direction. Harris, he drives through and rips him. Tony Cassiope's just quick snatch. Stencil is just like so smooth with it. It's like you see him shooting and you know you're supposed to sprawl, but you don't. You just like, oh, what? It's not even like a blast double, it's just an open double to like cut the corner on it. So I'm gonna have a Matt Stencil again.
Yeah.
He's gonna advance to wrestle Gable Stevenson in the national semifinals. While Tanner Hall will be dropping to the blood round, where he will have Yaroslav Slavikuski.
That could be an interesting match.
Yeah, honestly. My bracket did not turn out anything like this when I was looking at it.
All right, what's the next matchup?
So we got the 3 seed Big Tony and
Big Tony
Hilger.
All right, Big Tony Hilger. This match did go down.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go on upset here. I want Hilger. I think
Hilger beats him.
I'm gonna say for the sole reason that I don't know how to explain it. I just think the way Tony won was with a good re-attack, right? And Hilger's a very technical dude, getting on real shots and finish those real shots. I think Hilger tries to play the ride-out game a little bit more and gets that riding time point and wins 2-1.
And just let's talk a little bit about Trent Hilger. Trent Hilger was a massive football recruit. He was wanted by everyone. Almost every Division I college, I think probably almost all, want him. He was a middle linebacker. He's 6'3", 230 pounds.
245.
245.
230 coming out of high school.
Yeah, 230 coming out of high school.
I saw him doing 365-pound front squats.
Yeah.
Strongest lower body you'll ever see.
Yeah. He honestly was just an absolute freight train.
That's why his leg ride is lethal.
Yeah. And
two-time state champ out of Lake Fend, Michigan. I think he used to practice with Adam Kuhn a little bit.
Yeah, he was.
That's why he does so well against. That's why him versus Mason Paris is a very interesting matchup.
Because he practiced a ton with Adam Kuhn, I heard. Because he would go down to Adam Kuhn's family, like the family farm that he works out at, and he'd go and like just train that wise with him. Not even wrestling, it's just like getting big.
What I really realized about him is when you're a very good leg rider on top, but you're also an amazing absolute stud, right? You don't really have the chance to ride legs. Because to be able to ride legs, guys have to be able to build their base up on you, and you actually have to be able to throw the legs.
Yeah.
If guys just they're flat and not being able to compete, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're gonna give this 2-1 riding time decision to Trent Hilger of Wisconsin. Again, now our last match is Demetrius Thomas versus Mason Paris. Talk to us about that.
I think that this is another upset. I really do. I think Demetrius Thomas has Mason Paris' number, and I think he takes him out in a overtime takedown. Ends it there. No, you don't agree?
I need more of an explanation to that.
That's it. I'm telling you.
That's not an explanation.
You
give us some insight into why. I think he beats this guy. What do you think about him will let him do that? What different characteristics does this guy have than this guy? What's the different technique?
You got to see his build. Look at him. He is a freaking massive guy. He's strong. He's quick. He has all of that stuff. And I understand. Mason Paris is an animal. Most people would say, is a different breed. He is huge. He's strong. He's built like a brick wall. One of the most muscly and strong guys.
You see his back goes like this?
Yeah. He has scoliosis. Good try.
Is that actually what it is?
Yeah. But I just think it's.
I thought it was just like a pelvic tilt or something like that.
I thought he had scoliosis.
I doubt he could deadlift 700 pounds, squat 700 pounds with scoliosis.
Who knows? We'll never know.
You're not gonna like what I have. Paris Penningham.
Really?
And I'm gonna explain that to you with actual context, which you did not want to do.
All right. You see my actual context? You know my actual context is? I just like him
I've seen
more as a
Demetrius
person.
Thomas wrestle against a lot of guys. The guys that are smaller, don't have athleticism. He blows right through. The guys that are bigger and don't have technique, he blows right through because he's quick and he can move that weight, that 265, very quickly. Mason Parris is about 255, just as strong as Demetrius Thomas because I can give him that. Mason Parris made a huge improvement from last season. You also got to respect that. I think the way I see Demetrius Thomas wrestling, he wrestles a little more athletic and a little bit reckless at times, which I think is going to let him hit the dump. And I think he takes the dump right to his back and pins him. Because Mason Parris did pin Fran Hoger in the dump.
I don't agree with that. I think Demetrius Thomas has his number. He's having the tournament of his life.
He's really not. How do you see him having the tournament of his life? Who do you beat so far? Yaroslav was basically.
I don't have a film. Yaroslav is Yaroslav is an animal though. He's still good. Yaroslav still.
Where he really runs into a brick wall.
I don't think so. I really do think that it's it. I really think that this is the match and that this is his time to shine. I don't think he's in the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament. I don't think he wrestles reckless. I think he wrestles smart, and I think he wrestles tough, and I think he beats him by takedown in overtime. I'll tell you.
3-1 in overtime.
3-1 in overtime. I'm telling you, I really think it could happen. I really think that if anyone's getting upset, it's going to be Mason Parris. It's going to be. I really do. I don't think Gable is the type of guy to get upset in a tournament like this, but I think Parris is somebody that could get upset. And I think it's Demetrius Thomas who has his number.
You mean getting caught, not upset?
Getting caught. He gets caught. He gets caught in a spot he's not comfortable in, and he capitalizes. I really do think that this is something that could happen.
It's going to be a high-flying match, though. 7-5, victory. I'll do it.
7-5 victory?
100%. Yep. Fuck it.
Right.
Ooh.
Right.
Can't say that.
Mom, excuses now. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not about your mom. It's about you, too. It's a 3-hour video. Sorry. Yeah. Demetrius Thomas 7-5 sudden victory. OT.
Mason Parris falls in the quarterfinals. What a tournament!
No, chances they even picked that up. Honestly, what I said.
Not at all. All right, back to the wrestling. Let's do the consolation, the blood round. We're in the blood round, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's the first match of the blood round?
Yaroslav Slavakuski versus Tanner Hall.
It's another one. Tanner Hall's your 4 seed. Yaroslav's your 10 seed. Seeding doesn't matter in matches, though, as we just saw. 2 seed fall. I think.
I have Yaroslav.
Yeah, I agree. I think Yaroslav's size and strength just gets the best of Tanner Hall.
What? Tanner Hall, senior, will go home empty-handed in the blood round. While Yaroslav Slavakuski, a freshman from Harvard, is guaranteed to place.
Yes.
Now, Gannon Gremmel versus Jordan Wood.
This is the match that I was not looking forward to, just on the sheer fact of I'm a big fan of both of these guys. different reasons I like him, but I really do think that this is Jordan Woods' time, and I do think that Jordan Woods is going to get the best of Gannon Graham.
I think it's a perfect matchup for Jordan Wood to take advantage of in blood round.
Yeah, I agree.
The junior Gannon Gremmel will be sent home.
I'm sorry, Gannon Grumble, if you watch this. I'm a fan, I promise. I tried. I fought for you in the earlier round. You could have been home a couple rounds ago, boss.
Jordan Wood returns on the podium.
Yeah.
David Jensen versus Mason Parris.
All right, Mason Parris kills David Jensen. I have Mason Parris getting third. Just going to put that out there.
David Jensen gets on top. What happens?
He rides out Mason Parris.
No, Parris is a dog on top, honestly. People underestimate that.
Parris is a dog on top, but is Parris the dog on bottom?
He has like a middle school technique ride, but it works.
All right, hear me out, though. But if Jensen gets on top of Parris, is Parris going to get up?
No.
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. Could we have another upset and send Mason Parris home?
I don't know.
No.
I don't think Mason Parris got pinned in the blood round by Matt Stencil in the cradle. That's what happened last year.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think so. I think that sheer loss, I don't think it's going to go to his head. He's going to remain motivated. His whole team's behind him.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
He might get a lot of crap for that, honestly, in my opinion, but he makes it past David Jensen. David Jensen, senior, gets sent home. Sophomore Mason Parris makes his way onto the podium for the first time.
Yep.
Tate Orndorff versus
right.
Cassiope. That's a joke.
Tate Orndorff, Cassiope, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it for a while.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
You know where that's from, right?
Good mythical morning.
Yeah. I started watching them again. I used to watch them when you used to have that chicken with the Good Mythical Morning thing coming out of it.
Who is texting you at this hour?
My sister.
Go to bed. She's like, go to bed.
Was that loud?
I heard that. I was like, whoa. I thought that was my phone.
Because it was on my MacBook, the notification.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Cassiope wins by major.
Yeah, I agree.
Sophomore Tate Orndorff will set home, but in the redshirt freshman, Tony Cassiope makes his way onto this podium in the first year.
Yepper. Tony, big Tone. Way to go, Big Tone, honestly.
Now, our guaranteed All-Americans are Gable Stevenson, sophomore from Minnesota, Matt Stencil, sophomore from Central Michigan, Trent Hilger, sophomore from Wisconsin, Demetrius Thomas, senior from Pitt, Yaroslav Slavakuski, freshman from Harvard, Jordan Wood, the junior from Lehigh. Ooh, my voice just went. Mason Parris, the sophomore from Michigan. Cassiope, the freshman from Iowa. We're going to have the consolation semi?
Yeah.
Consolation quarterfinals.
Consolation quarterfinals.
Yaroslav Slavakuski versus Jordan Wood. I'm going to say the sheer fact that Jordan Wood did beat him in the IWA finals, I think he's going to come again now. When it really matters.
I agree.
Okay. Jordan Wood will advance, and Yaroslav Slavakuski will advance to the 7th place match.
Yaroslav, way to be, kid. You're on the podium. Congratulations. We're not on the podium. Technically, we get 7th or 8th. You're standing on the floor. next to the podium, but you did good. You did good. That's all that matters.
Mason Paris versus Tony Cassiope. I think just because he won last time, I think it's gonna be a lot closer this time. But I still think.
You think? I think Cassiope beats him. I really do. I think Cassiope, if that match is happening again, Cassiope beats him. I 100% think that. I really do. I don't think that he catches him. I don't.
I want to think that also.
I want to think it, and I think it happens. I do not think, and especially now that they're both now in that mindset.
That seeding at Big Ten's kind of pissed me off.
I 100% agree with that seeding at Big Ten's just not correct at all.
It was correct. It just kind of pissed me off. I don't think it was right. I know that's how they had to see it, though, because Gable ducked Mason Paris. Cassiope gets the 3-2 win over Mason Paris. Are you thinking about it?
Yeah.
The reason I say is, what move was he hit by? He was hit by the dump. Honestly, it looked like he was going to stop the dump while he was going to hit by it, but he ended up getting muscled over, which I doubt is going to happen again because all really he needs to do is just circle just the slightest bit more, and then he has him in the front headlock, which I think he can turn that on pretty easy too. He had on two different leg attacks, which were very good leg attacks. The first one he got hit by a move that I don't think anybody really expects is Paris hit that Russian spin on him. It wasn't even a good Russian spin or a good finish. He just kind of out-athleticized him there, which I think if he just keeps a better grip on that leg, it doesn't go down to the mat on a guy like Mason Paris to finish. Worst case scenario, Paris kicks out 0-0. The transition on that, right?
Yeah.
And I think the last one, he had a very good leg attack. Again, another fake to a snatch single, which is what he does. That's his bread and butter. He did it very good on him. Left his leg a little too close. Again, another move that people aren't expecting. But now that he hits that reverse angle pick and catches him in the Turk. I think catching him in the Turk was just a pure lapse in judgment by Tony Cassiope, right? And then after he was in the Turk, there's no getting out on a guy as strong as Paris. He's going to turn you, right?
Yeah, no.
But also, I think there was a lot of BS pulled on Tony Cassiope's part when Paris was running that bar and he just rolled through it.
Yeah, no.
I think he has to have the awareness not to get put in that situation because I don't think Paris is good enough to turn Cassiope on top. I just think he kind of put himself in that situation, right? By not having the awareness that it could happen. Just kind of chilled on bottom, thinking he wouldn't get turned. I have a couple seconds, then I'll start trying to get up. And then Paris went ham on him on top. And then Paris could have very well stuck him right there. If Paris stuck him right there, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, no,
Since those events happen, you really have to have that conversation. I don't think a lot of this happens again. I think the pace really gets extremely shut down. I honestly think Tony Cassiope opens a wide gap and could win 5-2 on this.
I agree.
I don't see him using his top right on a guy like Mason Paris, who's very athletic and very strong at that point too. So I think Cassiope can win 5-2.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mason Paris for the 7th and 8th place match.
Versus Yaroslav Slavakuski.
All right, next matchup. Tony Cassiope moves on to the consolation finals.
Your top 6 will be Gable Stevenson, Matt Stencil, Trent Hilger, Demetrius Thomas, Jordan Wood, and Tony Cassiope. Now we will have the national semifinals. Gable Stevenson versus Matt Stencil.
Gable Stevenson takes it.
I want to talk a little bit about this match.
All right, yeah.
On his feet, though, you think Gable would be
but Stencil?
Gable was more dominant on his ability to get into attacks.
Yeah.
But I think a guy like Stencil, you cannot prepare for that defense. He's not going to hit the split zone. He's going to, run the corner, and he'll be searching for that cradle right away on a guy not as tall like Gable Stevenson. He pinned Mason Paris with it. He has confidence with it. So I think a guy like I really do think that Matt Stencil has potential. But I think Gable could very well, Gable's so good at changing angles. I think angles are the main thing that's hard to defend rather than speed. Which is why he looks so crisp on those attacks against guys like Cassiope, who's has actual defense, right? Paris' defense has never really been tested until Gable.
No.
And it's obviously lacking there, right?
Yeah.
His counterattack game, though, Paris is really good.
Yeah, definitely. His counter.
If Stencil gets his hand locked on the cradle, he sticks Gable Stevenson, no doubt. But I think Gable is good enough of a wrestler to have that awareness not to let that happen. But I think this match is a lot closer than we think, and I really think it's 1-4 to 1, something like that.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's a game.
I think Stencil wrestles the match of his life here.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely can agree with that.
4 to 1 Gable Stevenson, and Gable Stevenson is in the national finals. Okay, Gable Stevenson makes the national finals, already places higher than he does last year. Matt Stencil will be moved to the consolation against Tony Cassiope. 1 second, I just wrote that down in the wrong spot. Stencil versus Cassiope. Get into the third place match, which is also a rematch of the Midlands. So now we have Trent Hilger versus Demetrius Thomas.
I see Demetrius Thomas beating Trent Hilger.
I don't. Not even close.
I definitely.
It's terribly not even close.
Yeah,
you have to tell me why. You got to make a valid argument towards this.
All right, here's my valid argument, right? You see Trent Hilger. That's a big boy. He's a big guy. But then you got Demetrius Thomas. Size is not an issue for either of these guys, and they're both quite. I mean, me and you both agree Trent Hilger is one of the most athletic heavyweights, if not the most technical heavyweight.
Trent Hilger is the most technical, not even close.
Yeah. So based on that factor, I would like to reluctantly change my decision and have Trent Hilger be in the national final against Gable Stevenson.
I really don't think this is a thing many people would have seen happening, honestly. It's very optimistic, honestly.
But I think Demetrius Thomas is someone you cannot count out.
Hilger is the best guy coming. Hilger lost 4-0 to Mason Paris at Big Tens and 3 to 1 in the duel. That's where I saw Hilger's scrambling ability. Against Tony Cassiope, that's where you saw Hilger's ability on bottom. Against a guy like Gary Chalb is where you saw Hilger's leg defense. And against a guy like Gable Stevenson, you saw Hilger's ability to funk. A lot of those things happen right here. I think Trent Hilger dominates Demetrius Thomas. Because as far as I've seen Demetrius Thomas, he's a raw athlete. He's all that. He's a JUCO product. He's just raw. But what I think, Trent Hilger exploits him for what he has. Because Trent Hilger was just riding a huge upset, beating Tony Cassiope.
But then you have to think, wouldn't Demetrius Thomas be riding a huge upset after just beating Mason Paris?
No, I do. Totally.
Yeah.
You also have to realize Mason Paris doesn't have that great of technique.
Yeah.
Trent Hilger is just as strong as him, just as fast, a lot more technical. Instead of hitting dumps on him all over the time, like that's his only move. Trent Hilger has a versatile offense. He can fake one way, go the other.
Yeah.
Hit different finishes from different situations. Demetrius Thomas's bottom game is a little bit iffy. I don't know how, but you would think he'd be able to get out from bottom with that. It's a little bit iffy.
Yeah, I've seen him get held down.
Mason Paris doesn't have a defined top right yet. It's just a bully top right. And you can't really do that on a guy like Demetrius Thomas or Trent Hilger.
No.
I really do think Trent Hilger exploits him. It's 7-3. I'll give him a 7-3 decision.
All right, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, it sucks because Demetrius Thomas is my guy. I was really expecting him to, pull one out for me.
Yeah, no, of course. I get it.
But, hey, Trent Hilger gave Gable Stevenson finals. Interesting.
So, Demetrius Thomas versus Jordan Wood.
All right, he's gonna kill. Okay, well, we're going right to that, right? That'll be the.
Yeah.
I think he beats.
They've split matches 1-1.
I think he beats Jordan Wood.
Can I talk?
No. He beat Jordan Wood already. Next match.
16-10. But Jordan Wood's also just riding a hot streak too.
But he beat Mason Paris.
I'm giving Demetrius Thomas another 7-5 win.
Agreed. So that puts him in the 3rd and 4th place match.
Yeah. Then we have Cassiope versus Stencil. Cassiope pretty much dominated Stencil at Midlands. It was 5-2.
5-2, yeah.
Stencil was not able to work a top right on Cassiope. Cassiope wasn't able to work a top right on Stencil. Just two very solid dudes.
Battling.
This is going to be a match that could really go either way in the next couple of years, but this year I really think it's leaning towards Cassiope and just his experience. Cassiope has wrestled. You would think that Stencil being older would have more experience, but Cassiope does, honestly.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to have to give that win again. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think it's maybe 3-2, but I don't see Stencil getting on leg attacks on a guy like Cassiope. I see him going for shots. Cassiope gets a re-attack and takes him down. That's how, honestly, I think it's going to happen. So we're going to move Cassiope into the 3rd place match?
Yep. All right, now we're in what? Now we have all of our placement matches set, right?
Sure.
All right, let's start at 7 and 8 and work our way up to the finals.
We have Mason Paris versus Yaroslav Slavakuski.
I
don't think it's going to be that close of a match. I think Mason Paris gets the major.
I agree.
Mason Paris is like, let's just win my last match. No.
Yeah.
So 7th place we'll have
Mason Paris from.
I really don't think there's much to talk about in this match. I don't think Yaroslav's a guy who has any big moves up his back pocket. I don't think he can talk I think Mason Paris muscles him for the dump.
Yeah.
Again, Yaroslav's pretty athletic, so I don't think he pins him with the dump. Like I've said many times before. Yeah, but I give him a dominant win. I don't think Yaroslav gets up from bottom. I don't think he holds Mason Paris down on top. Just outclassed, honestly, not out techniques or anything. Next year, this might be a completely different story, you know?
Now, this could be a reverse thing.
Yeah. Our 5th, 6th match is going to be between Jordan Wood and Matt Stencil. I'm going to have to say this match is going to go to Matt Stencil.
I agree. Yeah.
But, why? I don't really know how to explain it. I think the top right of Matt Stencil is just unmatched between anybody. I think Jordan Wood's a guy he can ride for a little bit. Because I saw Sam Stoll ride him, and then Matt Stencil is a better ride than Jordan Wood.
Yeah.
No, I really don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to give this to Matt Stencil.
Yeah. So Jordan.
I think Matt Stencil could very well pin him, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be a 2-0 match again.
So we see Matt Stencil with the win.
Yep. In the 3rd place match, again, I think this is where Demetrius Thomas is just going to be a little bit outclassed.
Yeah. This is the end of his road. He had a great tournament.
I think Demetrius Thomas versus Mason Paris, I think it's possible that he wins it. I doubt it. But, you had a convincing argument.
Yeah.
To an extent. But the main thing I see there is it's just two raw athletes going out there competing. It's not two wrestlers going out there competing.
It's just two athletes, two dogs.
I think it's honestly going to come down to who wants him more, and that's going to be Demetrius Thomas. JUCO product knocking off
scholarship.
Who's supposed to be the guy?
Yeah. That's a good dream. That's a good dream.
He places higher than his boy Mickey Philippi.
Yeah.
But I think this is it.
Tony Cassiope.
Yeah, I think Cassiope's just going to
manhandle him.
I don't think it's going to be manhandle him. I think it still comes to physical ability. 5-3. 5-3.
5-3. Tony Cassiope wins, gets third at his. Wait, yeah, it's his first.
It is his first. He actually beat Sam Stoll in the wrestle-off last year. They just didn't want to pull his red shirt, you know? And Sam Stoll's a 2-time All-American.
Yeah.
Would have been a 3-timer if somebody didn't shoot themselves in the knee. Oh, who said that? Yeah, we're at 2 hours and 54 minutes, dude.
All right, we got one more match.
Gable Stevenson versus Trent Hoger.
Thor, the man from Wisconsin, the man from Michigan goes to Wisconsin.
Trent Hoger's gonna be riding a hot streak, but this is the match Gable's been looking forward to since he was robbed with the seeding last year.
Robbed's a big word, I think. I don't think he was robbed.
With the seeding, yes, he was.
I think Kassar was the rightful champ.
Yeah, but no, seeding-wise. He should have been last year.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to argue that he was the second best guy in the weight class. Kassar was rightfully the champ, hands down, but
I got to give it to Gable.
No, 100% is going to Gable. I just don't know how Swerve's going to play. I don't think he – it was a 5-10 match. So it was extremely dominant from the feet.
Let's cut that down.
That wrestling is just very irrelevant. Hilger tried to throw in legs and got reversed.
Let's cut that down and let's say
6-4. I think Hilger takes him down once.
6-4 match. It's it's good, and you know what? Hey, you had a good tournament. You're young. You have a bright future ahead of you if you're Trent Hilger. You go home with a runner-up in the nation. You know what? You did
as the 6th seed.
As the 6th seed. You did good. All right. So that wraps it up. Our 2020 NCAA champion at heavyweight is the number 1 seed, Gable Stevenson from Minnesota.
And, okay, so we'll just run through the podium a little bit. Because I think a lot of guys, if I were to mock up, I'll actually do that right now.
So one we have Gable. 2 is Hilger.
If you were to just take a first glance at this, I'll straight up tell you who you'd have placing, right?
Yeah.
You would take Gable Stevenson first, obviously. Mason Parris second. If it's just an average, so you don't dive into really all the techniques and stuff. Cassiope third, Stencil fourth, and then Hilger fifth, Thomas sixth, Wood seventh, and Gary Traub eighth. Most people had.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
And that's a valid. I completely understand when you're looking at it, but when you have guys we had Gary Traub getting knocked up by Zachary Knighton-ward. By no means is Zachary Knighton-ward a better wrestler should be ranked higher than Gary Traub. Mm-hmm. But I think the matchup was just perfect for Knighton-ward to come on top. That's how we actually thought it happening, right?
Yeah.
With Jordan Wood, a lot of people just didn't have him All-American this season, which you also have to realize he's a returning All-American. He plays fourth. The weight class might have gone past him a little bit, but he's going to come back out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
A guy like Demetrius Thomas, who fell in the blood round to Amar Desi, I think, actually.
Yeah, it was Amar Desi.
It was?
Yeah, I'm almost 100% positive.
I never saw that match, but I know it was a decently close match. Coming into the senior season, that's his final shot. He's a JUCO product. All odds against him, right?
That's what he's heard his whole
Become a national All-American would have been crazy. Again, none of these guys never had the shots to do, but that sucks extremely for a guy like Demetrius Thomas, who had that fantastic career, just never is going to have the shot to do that.
I definitely think he has the talent.
A guy like Hilger, with these top 5 guys here, you're just going by the stats. Like Gable beat Paris, Paris beat Cassiope, Cassiope beat Stencil, Stencil beat Hilger. That's really it.
Yeah.
There's no real logical way to go about it. But you have to realize that Hilger beating Mason Paris and Demetrius Thomas beating Mason Paris is more realistic than Tony Cassiope or Matt Stencil beating Mason Paris.
100% agree. All right, so do you want to just run through our top 8?
Yeah, we'll run through what we actually have happening in this bracket. Yeah. So in 8th place, we have the freshman from Harvard, Yaroslav Slavikuski. And his road to this is he came into the bracket as the 10 seed, beat Quinn Miller in the first round, 6-1. He ended up falling in the round of 16 to Demetrius Thomas by major decision 8-0. After that, get bumped to the round of 24 constellations, so wrestle back round 2. Ends up having a win over Ben Sullivan of Army. Has another win to get into the blood round versus Jared Heino of Campbell. Knocks off senior Tanner Hall from Arizona State in a huge match to solidify himself as an All-American. Ends up falling to the same guy he fell to in the EIWA finals in Jordan Wood. And he moves to the 7th-8th match where he has to wrestle Mason Paris, who's undisputably the second best guy in the nation coming into this tournament, and he ends up getting majored. In 7th place, we have Mason Paris coming to tournament as a 2 seed, wins by first period fall in a minute over Ryan Cloud of Ryder, ends up winning by major decision by tech fall over Jared Heino of Campbell, ends up dropping a tough outside of the tournament to Demetrius Thomas 7-5 in overtime in a high-flying match. Ends up getting knocked to the blood round where he has to wrestle Nebraska wrestler senior David Jensen. Ends up knocking him off in the blood round. Proceeds to get to the wrestleback quarterfinals where he has to wrestle Tony Cassiope. Cassiope makes his adjustments to all the moves that Paris hit on him, and he handles them 5-2 the same way he should have the first time. Gets bumped to the 7th-8th match where he has to wrestle Yaroslav Slavikuski. He ends up handling the freshman. Pretty much that's really it. That's all that really happened. And now our 6th place finisher is Jordan Wood from Lehigh. He ended up placing 4th last year. And his road to the finals is last year he came in as a 4 seed. This year he's going to be coming as a 9 seed. Dropped a couple tough losses coming to the year. First of all, he hits a 9-3 tough fought win over Ben Sullivan of Army in the first round. Caps off another win, 3-2, another slugfest against Tate Orndorff from Utah Valley. Drops a 7-3 match against Gable Stevenson, which ultimately knocks him into the blood round after he loses in the quarterfinals. In the blood rounds, he ends up taking out Gannon Gemmel by a 3-2 decision to solidify himself as a 2-time All-American. There, he takes out Yaroslav Slavikuski, who he beat in the EIW finals, who also got a couple of upsets to get to this point. Then he ends up falling to familiar foe from Pitt, ACC wrestler, Demetrius Thomas. He ends up shortening the gap this time, losing 7-5. In the match, he lost 16-10 this year. So he closes the gap a little bit against the guy Demetrius Thomas. Gets moved to the 5th-6th match, ends up falling to a much bigger opponent, Matt Stencil, being able to not really get away from that size and everything. And he ends up falling 2-0. So our 5th-place finisher will be Matt Stencil, the sophomore from Central Michigan. He solidifies himself as a 2-time All-American on his quest to be a 4-time All-American. So Matt Stencil will come in as the 5 seed, where he pins Brendan Furman of Cornell in the first period. He beats David Jensen of Nebraska 2-0, gets the ride out, and he gets a scare from bottom. He ends up winning by major decision 11-3 over Tanner Hall, which I think is his big match to boost morale. He basically bodies a high-level opponent at this point. He's like, okay, we're into this. And then he wrestles an insanely tough match against Gable Stevenson and gives him the fight. But he ends up falling just short, 4-1, where he gets bumped to the the WrestleBack semifinals, where he has to wrestle Tony Cassiope, who we did fall to 5-2 in the Midland finals, where I think he's going to fall again, but I think the gap is going to be shortened to a 3-2 match. I don't think Cassiope gets those 2 takedowns on him. I think Stencil's coming off a hot streak. He felt Gable Steveson, but it's Gable Steveson. He's motivated, but he still ends up losing, and he ends up taking out Jordan Wood in another 2-0 match. Gets an escape. I don't think there's really going to be any points scored from the feet. And he gets a ride out. His top game is elite. It's insanely strong. I think that happens, yep. And in 4th place, we're going to have Demetrius Thomas of Pitt, who's going to be our outstanding wrestler.
I agree, 100%.
You fair with that? All right.
Yes.
Demetrius Thomas comes in at the 7 seed. Nothing crazy about it. Fell in the blood round the year before to Amar Desi from Oregon State, who's a 2-time All-American and World Team member for Canada for freestyle. An elite guy to fall to. Amar Desi didn't have the – Amar Desi, I think, was the 4th best guy in the weight class. Amar Desi, I think, was the 3rd best guy in the weight class. Honestly.
Yeah, he was definitely.
Yeah, I think we go Anthony Cassar, Gable Steveson, Amar Desi, Derek White, Yusuf. No, I give Jordan Wood, then Yusuf Hamida. No. Then Yusuf Hamida and Trent Hogan split matches, though. But, we're talking about Demetrius Thomas, though. So, first round, he comes in. He tech falls Thomas Spinola of Purdue. Dominant showing. He doesn't have the greatest top or bottom game or anything. He's more of a neutral wrestler. He's an elite athlete. He ends up bodying Yaroslav Slavakuski, who ended up taking 8th in our mock bracket. He ends up winning 8-0 with a major decision. It starts his physical dominance on a freshman. Then he ends up winning a high-flying match against Mason Paris, which you really think is just going to be won based on athleticism. It's just 2 raw athletes going at it. It's just a dogfight. But it's going to be points thrown everywhere. And I think the final takedown will go to Demetrius Thomas, ending Mason Paris' reign in overtime. It's going to be the upset of the tournament.
100%.
Then I think he heads into the semis versus Trent Hilger of Wisconsin, the sophomore. And here I think his athleticism and all that is going to be pretty much neutralized by Hilger's superior technique, and he's probably going to get exploited for everything he has, and he's going to fall 7-3. Then Demetrius Thomas will wrestle Jordan Wood. I think, again, Wood's coming off a good streak. He dropped the match in the quarters to Gable Steveson, but it's Gable Steveson again. Nobody's really going to be that affected by losing Gable Steveson. He's going to be like, okay, I want to place 4th. Puts up a valiant effort, but he still pops up short. So Demetrius Thomas claims that match 7-5 again. And he ends up getting into the 3rd place match against Tony Cassiope, where he ultimately falls 3-2.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah. So now a 3rd place finisher, Tony Cassiope. Cassiope wins with a second period pin in the first round against UNC's Andrew Gunning, which is just a start to a good tournament. And then he sees Gary Traub there, who he has a little bit of trouble wrestling in the past, ends up taking the 2-0. Yeah, popcorn, dude. No takedowns from the feet. I think Cassiope mauls him on top just to win the match. Hangs on. I think Cassiope actually will fall to Trent Hoger, sadly, in the quarterfinals off riding time, honestly. I think Hilger is going to use his technique and exploit him for that riding time, which is going to be very interesting to see. This is a big toss about that I just have going his way. Trent Hoger's way this time. Cassiope won the first 2. It's insanely hard to beat a person 3 times in a row, especially when you're this close. And, I think this is going to be Hilger's tournament, honestly. And then we have Tony Cassiope falling to the blood round, where he wrestles Tate Orndorff. We have him completely dismantling Taylor Orndorff 7-3, 3 takedowns, escape points.
Yeah.
Nothing really to worry about there. Then Mason Parris versus Tony Cassiope happens, which is a big matchup. Again, we've all seen what happened like the first couple times, like all those weird moves and everything being pulled. We don't think that happens again. I think every heavyweight I've talked to tells me that those are not occurrences that will happen ever again, most likely. Maybe we're wrong, but I'm looking at it in the way that I think it's going to play out. We think it's going to play out. And we think Cassiope is just going to take it to Mason Parris. Mason Parris is already coming off a loss, big loss, bumping Mason Parris, the 2 seed, into the 7th-8 match. 3 seed Tony Cassiope is going to continue his quest. We wrestles Matt Stencil, which is basically mostly honestly a procession bout for him. Nothing too much to be worried about. He already beat him at the Midland Finals pretty handily. I don't think points are going to fly here. I think it's going to be more of like a 3-2 match again. Just being that it was a 2 takedown match, then I think Stencil closes the gap to make it a 1 takedown match. I don't see Matt wrestling really being that relevant in this match, being they're both solid bomb. They both can get out. I really don't see either one of them putting the top right together. Yeah. Which is going to move a Tony Cassiope into the 3rd place match against Demetrius Thomas from Pitt. So 2 guys that Tony Cassiope is expected to place 3rd by a lot of people. He does. Demetrius Thomas is expected to get there, so it might be a little bit interesting to see these 2 clash. 2 are similar body types. The only difference is the way they like to shoot. Demetrius Thomas is more of an open shot guy, speed shot guy. Cassiope's favorite is the speed snatch and the counter re-attack snatch. I think, again, this simple technique is just going to – I think he beats Demetrius Thomas in a 1 takedown match and wins 3-2.
Yeah.
So the 6th seed Trent Hooker, we have him placing 2nd at Nationals. So in the first round, he wins by tech fall over Jordan Ernest. We think he just throws in legs, plays it safe, gets the suckbacks and everything. He might pull out a pin at the end, but who knows? I think he should play it safe and do all this, just get a tech fall. Then he will wrestle Gannon Gremmel from Iowa State, who I just think he just exploits him again. Honestly, there's no real better way to go about it. I just don't think Gannon Grummel's on that level where he can compete with these all-American guys just yet.
Not yet.
Maybe next year, he's definitely a guy who has potential to become an all-American. It all depends, if you can get past that blood round. Because that blood round, a lot of seasons, a lot of guys who could have all-American in past seasons are going to be cut short next year. And then he wrestles familiar foe again, Tony Cassiope, who's dropped to twice, both in very close matches, I think he's able to put it together this time. He's able to finally put together a top ride. He's wrestled him twice. Maybe puts together a top ride that works. Snags that riding time with his leg ride. Cassiope finally gets an escape. And then they're back to square one. And Hilger gets out in the 3rd. Doesn't compromise riding time. And Hilger ends up pulling the 2nd biggest upset of the tournament with a 2-1 decision over Tony Cassiope. And this sends him into the semifinals, so it's a 6 versus 7 seed in the semifinals. Another thing a lot of people didn't expect. So Trent Hooker versus Demetrius Thomas. Again, as we went over this, I think Trent Hooker is just way too superior technique-wise. My bad. I just think he's a little bit too superior technique-wise for Demetrius Thomas to really hang with his athleticism, just rely on that.
Definitely, yeah.
I think he's just going to get exploited. I think I have him winning 7-3, which is basically 3 takedowns. I think all those 3 are going to be counters. I don't think he's going to produce his own takedowns on him. And this will send Trent Hooker into the national finals against Gable Stevenson.
Face off against Gable.
Last times they wrestled, Trent Hooker has been majored, and the most recent time, Gable won 5-10 all takedowns. There's not really much to talk about here. Like, it's a national final.
Gable dominated the whole tournament.
Yeah, we have Gable dominating the whole tournament, really. Not as much as you would think, though.
No.
I do see Hilger getting the takedown. It's a national final. I see Hilger pulling one of those funk rolls. Gable probably just surrenders a takedown at the end, knowing he's up by 2. Just like it did against Mason Paris, you know. People always surrender a takedown now. It's like you're playing the match like that. Like, a win's a national title is a national title. You get taken down once, who really cares? But I think it's a valiant effort by Hilger, and he just gets sent home just right there, hungrier than ever to come back next year. So that's your national runner-up, Trent Hilger. In winning the bracket, obviously, Gable. He fell short last year, falling to Anthony Cassar by riding time 4-3. It's the toughest way to see it go, but he's more determined than ever to get it done this year, and I think he does. We have him with the second period pin over Max Irie of NIU in the round of 32. Nothing really too crazy is going to happen here. Just a procession bout again. Gable Stevenson will wrestle Kerry Miller of Appalachian State in the round of 16. Kerry Miller is a 17 seed. Again, I really don't see anything crazy happening here. I see another procession bout from Gable. Gable rides on top, gets his 2-on-1 or cross-wrist tilt, just turns him at will. It's a tech fall, maybe early third period. Nothing too quick, though. I think Kerry Miller puts up a decent fight against Gable Stevenson. I just think he's a little bit outclassed there. A lot bit outclassed, actually. Yeah. Then we have Gable Stevenson versus Jordan Wood. Jordan Wood got a little bit of lower seed. I think he comes up big for the national tournament where he normally wrestles good. This was a 7-1 match last time he wrestled. I don't think Gable turns Jordan Wood on top anymore, but I think Gable's neutral game has evolved a little bit more to the point where he can put up the extra 2 takedowns. But those extra 2 takedowns also result in 2 more escapes for Wood. So he has a 7-3 match instead of a 7-1 match, which I think is a pretty fair way to put it.
Yeah, 100% I agree.
Then Gable Stevenson will take on the giant Matt Stencil. Matt Stencil's a guy I think it's going to be really hard for him to attack because you can't go – he's a guy you're not going to go through. You know? Like, I know he's going to lose to Tony Cassiope. That's the way we have it. Matt Stencil's a guy you're not going through him like the way you can go through Tony. No, people don't even go through Tony. Like, Gable went through Tony, but Matt Stencil's just different. You're not going through him. Like, he's going to have to get those outside shots and quick angles. I think Matt Stencil is the one dude who can defend his shots, Gable's shots. I think Gable gets in on 5 or 6 shots, but only completes 2. He's up 2-1 the third, has to get another takedown to seal it out. And then he wins 4-1. Stencil doesn't escape. That's all I really have it. And then Gable makes his first ever national finals after placing 3rd last year, you know?
Yeah.
He had to wrestle 2 returning All-Americans in the quarters and the semis, which isn't exactly what you really – it doesn't happen a lot for the 1 seed normally. Yeah. Maybe in the semis normally, but never in the quarters. They shouldn't happen. Especially not a guy who placed 1 spot below you for 9 seed. Those are just unforeseen. So we're going to have Gable in the finals against Trent Hilger, which is an interesting – he probably prepared to wrestle Mason Paris the whole week. So I do think Trent Hilger gets the best of him and gets a takedown. I do think, however, except for that, I think that takedown comes late in the 3rd period with just a fight off from Paris. But for the other part, I think Gable gets on his tacks pretty decently. I think Gable gets 1 takedown in the 1st. He picks bottom in the 2nd. He gets a reversal on Hilger, just like he did last time. I think Hilger has to go big and try to go with the legs. I think that's going to result in that. And, yeah, I think Hilger gets those 2 escapes and then takedown eventually. Gable gets another takedown in the 3rd and rides him out for the win 6-4. And that's really all I have to say about this bracket. As far as I've seen, there are some other guys who have fell very prematurely in this bracket that I don't think a lot of people would have really seen unless you look through the whole bracket. Guys like Gannon Gremmel, Gary Traub, Tate Orndorff, David Jensen, Josh Hokett, Tanner Hall, if I didn't say that already.
Yeah.
a guy like Mason Paris falling very early. Again, that's a very bold pick, having Demetrius Thomas be Mason Paris, but it's very possible if you actually dissect the match and look down. Because a lot of people are just going to look at it as like Paris pins him, Paris pins him, Paris pins him. Gable buys him, takes him. They just easily have the meat on the finals. Big Gable won the last match. Okay, he's going to win this match. When people don't look at like what technical things have actually been done inside those matches, the previous times, of what technically would be changed, and who you actually think wins the match based on like hot streaks. Oh, he just came off a tough loss, maybe mentally, because you don't know what type of people they are. Like I've seen all of these guys wrestle. It's just very interesting to look at it from this perspective, going through each match, each of like probably about 100 matches in this weight class, just dissecting them period by period and see what's going on. So
yeah, it takes so long.
20 minutes nonstop.
What do you say?
I just talked for like 20 minutes about all of them nonstop.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's why you're the host. Host with the most. Akil, wonderful job. I think we couldn't have done a better job on this bracket. I think the fans are gonna like this. I think there's some big upsets from the beginning to end. A good mix of everything, and I just did some quick looking. We actually have 3 people matching their seeds. Stencil,
Stevenson,
Gable, and Tony from Cassiope.
Yeah.
They're
I think it's Stencil, and I think like another way, like you're looking at this bracket, I think it could have went different in like many ways, because if I have these top 8 guys placing, those aren't the best 8 guys. You know? If we were to go talent-wise, it'd literally be Gable Stevenson, Tony Cassiope, Mason Paris, Matt Stencil, Fred Hilger, Demetrius Thomas, and Yaroslav. No, wait. Demetrius Thomas, Jordan Wood, and Yaroslav.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to look through the matchups, like, and then you just suddenly have Mason Paris getting knocked off in the WrestleBack quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. What a wonderful episode of tonight's episode of Late Night Shots. Tomorrow,
we made an extra long one for you guys. I mean, episode 10, we got to do something special.
Yeah.
Every 10 episodes might be a little bit longer one. We're at about 320, 325 right now. I mean, there's nothing really left for us to talk about. If you guys got this far, leave a comment below on what you want our next video to be about. We're having special guests on tomorrow.
Tomorrow's video. No.
Bigger in the wrestling community. A lot of you guys probably know him. Maybe you've seen him.
Wisconsin.
We're
Man.
talking about Wisconsin. We're talking about wrestling. We're talking about his story throughout wrestling. He's going to be wrestling college. He was a very dominant high school wrestler back in the day.
I'm telling you,
yeah.
This next episode's not going to be one you're going to miss. And this episode, honestly, I think this is a great episode. It's a little long, but if you watch all the way through, you'll really get the in-depth and kind of feeling.
If you have the YouTube Premium, just listen to it, while doing something.
While you're working out, cutting weight, getting ready to get in shape for wrestling.
Yeah. That's why we do it in the video, because when I like watching podcasts, I like looking at the actual video.
Yeah.
But maybe if I'm working out or something, I just
that's why we're thinking about doing a Spotify version for those guys who are trying to listen on the go, or I know we got asked about that before. Right?
Just get YouTube Premium. Come on.
Yeah, just get YouTube. Or Spotify's free. But.
YouTube Premium is better. You get to watch everything without ads.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So yeah. All right, guys. So this is the end of me and Derek for episode 10. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe. Just support the channel,
TikTok.
Yeah. Trying to grow. Started the Heavyweight Wrestling Hype House on TikTok. We're already about 330 followers. So, yeah, it's going to be a huge thing to watch out for. So, just be sure to check that out. Yeah, it's been episode 10. Yeah, that's it for now. And peace, guys.